Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic Radio Theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A Saturday full of drama with the Lux Radio Theater presentation of Wake Island, presenting Charles Boyer with the Paris-Marseilles Highway, and The Shadow starring Bill Johnstone, and The Devil's Hour. And we'll wrap it all up with Claudia. That's all coming up here on this Saturday. This is the 26th day of October, 300th day of the year, and that means we have 66 days remaining because it's a leap year. First Continental Congress adjourned on this date in 1774. The Erie Canal opened, providing passage from Albany, New York to Lake Erie. The gunfight at the OK Corral took place in Tombstone, Arizona on this date in 1881. The first electric generator at Hoover Dam went into full operation on this date in 1936. In 1944, future Vice President and later President Harry Truman publicly denied in 1944 he was ever a member of the Ku Klux Klan. In 1944, the British military occupation ended in Iraq, and in 1955, after the last Allied troops had left the country, and following the provisions of the Austrian Independence Treaty, Austria declared its permanent neutrality. In 1958, Pan American Airways made the first commercial flight of the Boeing 707 from New York to Paris. On this date in 1965, the Beatles appointed members of the Order of British Empires, an MBE.
The man shouted out, George Harrison, John Lennon, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, and Starr was the cue.
Left foot forward.
Yes, we always start.
We were drilled beforehand by some big guardsman fella, and every time he was reading out the names and he got to Ringo Starr, he kept cracking up.
The Beatles knighted on this date in 1965. In 1972, National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger held out hope that the Vietnam War was nearing an end.
We believe that peace is at hand. We believe that an agreement is within sight. We cannot fail, and we will not fail over what still remains to be accomplished.
The Paris Peace Accords would eventually be signed, but not without bloodshed. The last natural case of smallpox discovered on this date in 1977 in Somalia, the WHO and the CDC consider this the date of the anniversary of the eradication of smallpox, the most spectacular success of vaccination. In 1984, John D. McCollum shot and killed himself after spending a day listening to Ozzy Osbourne records, a lawsuit later filed by his parents over the song Suicide Solution. The case would be thrown out. In 1984, also a baboon heart transplanted into a human infant known as Baby Faye.
Baby's heart started beating automatically without any exterior stimulation, and it started beating around 11:35 a.m. It was a very emotional experience for the transplant team. They, I understand, got teary-eyed, and some of them embraced each other.
She would live only 21 days, but it sparked a debate on the ethics of using infants and animals in this fashion. The successor to the highly successful PlayStation, the PS2, released on this date in 2000. In 2001, the U.S. passed the controversial Patriot Act into law.
With my signature, this law will give intelligence and law enforcement officials important new tools to fight a present danger.
The Patriot Act was not patriotic by any degree at all. But it was all driven on because of the effects of September 11th. 2002, about 50 Chechen rebels, 150 hostages died when Russian troops stormed the House of Culture Theater in Moscow, which had been occupied by the rebels 3 days earlier. AT&T Wireless officially acquired by Singular Wireless in 2004. In 2005, the Chicago White Sox defeated the Houston Astros in the World Series to win their first championship since 1917. And in 2012, Microsoft made a public release of Windows 8 and made it available on new PCs. Passing away on this date in history, the first Black Academy Award winner from Gone with the Wind, Hattie McDaniel. Also actor Vincent Coleman, the man who sang about Kansas City, Wilbur Harrison, passing away on this date, and the man who sang about Della and the Dealer and a dog named Jake and a cat named Kalamazoo. Hoyt Axton. I can't sing that very well. I know, I can't sing very well, period. But all those folks passing away on this date in history. Birthdays on this date include Mahalia Jackson, Charlie Barnett, actor Jackie Coogan, the Jordanaires bass Neil Matthews Jr., and British actor Bob Hoskins, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
From Charlie's Angels, Jacqueline Smith is 79 today.
Freddie, you can't shoot and you can't drive. So you better pack it in before you hurt yourself.
From Charlie's Angels, Jacqueline Smith, 79 today, turning 78, Pat Sajak.
We need a phrase this time. That's the category for this puzzle, and it is a prize puzzle.
From Wheel of Fortune, Pat Sajak, 78 today. The former First Lady and former U.S. Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton, 77.
Everyday Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion.
Hillary Clinton, 77 years old today. From Grey's Anatomy, James Pickens Jr., 70. From The Practice, Dylan McDermott is 63. From 10,000 Maniacs, Natalie Merchant is 61.
Life walked these streets in a carnival of sights to see. All the cheap thrill seekers, vendors and the dealers, they crowded around me.
Her tune Carnival, Natalie Merchant, 61 today. Country singer Keith Urban is 57.
I'm gonna love you like nobody loves you, and I'll learn your trust making memories of us.
Making Memories of Us. That's Keith Urban, 57 years old today. You remember him from Family Guy, Ted, and The Orville. Seth MacFarlane is 51 years old today.
Ooh, couple Charles Bukowskis?
Couple Bruce Dostoevskis?
Maybe Mike Brugaslowski?
Perhaps a Teddy Bruschi?
That's a good one.
Seth MacFarlane, 51 today. From Napoleon Dynamite, John Hader is 47.
Well, will you do me a favor then?
What?
Can you bring me my chapstick?
From Napoleon Dynamite, John Hader, 47 today. And pro wrestler CM Punk is 46. Those are just a few of the people celebrating the 26th day of October as their birthday. And if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
We go back to World War II, the Lux Radio Theater production of Wake Island, starring Brian Donlevy, Broderick Crawford, and Robert Preston. That's all coming up next here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Americans have always been noted for their know-how, and you young men in search of a career, you can put this practical talent to excellent use in one of our nation's many engineering schools. At the present time, we need engineers. We need them to maintain our scientific and engineering superiority. So look to your future, to America's future. Plan now to become an engineer.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go to Hollywood. and the movies for an episode of the Lux Radio Theater going back 82 years, October 26, 1942. Robert Preston, Brian Donlevy, Broderick Crawford, Wake Island.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Brian Donlevy, Robert Preston, and Broderick Crawford in Wake Island. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. A producer who couldn't find dramatic material today would be like the man who couldn't see the forest for the trees. Some of the greatest dramas in human experience are being enacted all around us in the worldwide theater of war. And because tomorrow is Navy Day, we reenact for you tonight one of the simplest and strongest of all these dramas, one that's only a few months old and yet has already become immortal. It's called Wake Island, and it was written not in pen and ink by some pallid playwright, but in blood and fire by part of our Navy, the United States Marines. Tonight you'll hear two of the same stars who are in the great Paramount picture, Brian Donlevy and Robert Preston, and with them, Broderick Crawford. Bear in mind that the story you hear is a reconstruction from the cold facts of reports and dispatches of what actually happened out there on that little island in the Pacific Ocean, where a handful of American leathernecks went down fighting for a cause that we must win. We won't use their real names tonight, but history will. One of the most important services that a national theater can render to our country is to make sure that the greatest possible number of people can hear dramas like Wake Island, to know the heroism of this nation's sons, and to remember it. That is one of the duration assignments that the makers of Lux Flakes have pledged this theater to carry out, with the help and support of the national audience that is behind both the theater and the product. You have welcomed us of the Lux Radio Theater into your homes each Monday night, and we hope to enjoy and deserve that welcome for a long time to come. The same welcome you have given Lux Flakes for many years gone by. Now, the Lux Radio Theater has the honor to present a drama of American valor, Wake Island, starring Brian Donlevy as Major Jeffrey Caton, Robert Preston as Joe, and Broderick Crawford as Smaxy. Wake Island is a tiny dot in the midst of the Pacific, 4,254 air miles from San Francisco. Until 1941, it was known only as a stepping stone for Pan American clippers. In June of that year, the United States Marines landed. By the end of October 1941, these troops, in typical Marine fashion, had made progress. 6 5-inch naval guns had been emplaced, and 12 mobile 3-inch anti-aircraft. A squadron of 12 Grumman F-4 F-3s, nicknamed Wildcats, were based at Wake, constantly on the alert, patrolling the skies daily. Late in 1941, Headquarters Marine Corps assigned a new commanding officer to this tiny garrison. His name, Major Jeffrey Caton. His record, long and active. In Pearl Harbor, on a November morning, Major Caton makes his farewells.
With the compliments of your daughter, sir.
Well, what's this?
It's a cigarette case.
Hey, this is something.
Open it. There's something written on the inside.
To Daddy from Cynthia, November 1941. Say, that's fine.
Cost me an awful lot of money.
I'll bet it did.
Practically all my savings.
Well, I guess I know what that means. Need some money, huh?
Oh, no.
Well, you are getting a little thin. Here, you'd better catch up on your ice cream soda.
Thanks, Daddy.
I may be gone a long time. You better take some more.
Thanks a lot.
Well, what goes with thanks?
A hug. Daddy,
Yes?
are you sure I can't come?
Not this trip, darling.
Mother used to go everywhere with you. She used to say you needed someone to look after you. Can't I sort of take her place and look after you like she did?
You are taking her place, darling. But don't you worry about me, understand? I'll send for you later, just as soon as I can.
All right. Say, where is this Wake Island anyway? What's it like?
Oh, it's just a little strip of sand with a lot of water all around it.
Another Marine said goodbye that morning. An aviator, Lieutenant Bruce Cameron, to his bride of 3 weeks.
Oh, Bruce. Goodbyes are awful, aren't they?
Well, you let yourself in for a lot of them when you married a Marine.
I know. Bruce, the handkerchief.
What, again?
Oh, I'd feel like this if you were going away overnight.
Next time I leave, I'm going to bring a bucket. Oh, come on, darling. Come on.
The third passenger on the Clipper was a civilian, Shad McCloskey.
Well, so long, baby. Here's where I leave you.
You go now?
Yeah, for now, pronto, right away. Thanks for showing me the town, baby.
Goodbye. Aloha, Miliki.
Yeah, that's fine. Save it till I come back, will you? Hey, hold it! Hold that
McCloskey. Hey, McCloskey, wake up.
Oh, what?
Good morning.
Oh, morning. Don't suppose you got a bar on this thing, have you?
No, I can't even offer you a cold shower.
Have we got to wake yet?
No, we won't be in for some time. Would you like to slick up a little? I can lend you a razor.
Yeah. Now, look, General.
Major Caton.
Look, General, you're a soldier and I'm a civilian. I've got a government contract with a mighty important job to do, but there's not a word in it about taking orders from brass hats. And that goes for suggestions about shaving, too. Call me when we get to Wake Island. That's all I want from you.
Well, good enough. Oh, Cameron, have you got that map?
Right here, Major.
Fine. Let's have another look at our future home.
Wake Island, a strip of beach in the heart of a mighty ocean. And on that strip of beach, 2 members of the 1st Defense Battalion, United States Marines, 2 leathernecks, sunning themselves with their helmets over their eyes.
Yeah, Joe, I can see 'em in my mind's eye. Big ones, little ones, all guzzling and grunting and putting on weight. Yeah, Joe, hundreds of them.
Hundreds of which?
Hogs, yeah. That's what the ex-wrestling champ of the Pacific Fleet has finally decided on. Out of this outfit, onto a hog ranch.
Yeah. Last week it was turkeys you were going to raise.
No, Turks is out. I just read a book. Turks has got 249 pages of diseases.
No kid.
Yeah, Turks is out. I decided on that. Hey, look, Joe, here comes the Clipper.
Yeah.
Hey, ain't that pretty? Ain't that sweet, Joe? Hello there, you great, big, beautiful sweetheart, you. Just one more week, Joe, and I'll be aboard one of those things. Mr. Aloysius K. Randall, United States citizen, tourist deluxe.
Nah, stop dreaming, Smexy. Monkeys like you don't rate no clippers.
No? Well, I got the dough, and I got the old man say-so, so don't you worry, bub. I'll be on it all right.
Hey, look, Smexy. Right here I got $10, and I'm going to bet you the whole thing that you
Where
never
did you get $10?
I got it all right. And right now that $10 is saying that you don't leave this island, clipper or no clipper.
'Cause why?
'Cause you ship over, that's why. Yeah, you'll re-enlist.
I will, me?
Sure. You'll be a Marine till I wheel you out in a chair.
Come on, you're slappy, Joe.
Who is?
You.
Are you baboon?
Now, you see, you left yourself wide open for an arm lock.
I don't want to hear any of that wrestling talk. I just want to punch you right in the nose.
Okay, Joe, there it is. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, wait. Chow. Hey, Skipper, come on, Skipper.
Come on,
Chow.
Skip, come on, go.
Chow. Come on.
All right. Get in the line, you guys.
Hey, how's about it, Cook? What's on the menu?
Stew, brothers, stew.
Oh, boy, here we go again. Good old stew. Come on, there, heap it up, bub.
Okay, Smaxy, move on, will you?
Oh, hello, Sparks.
Hiya, Sparks. What do you hear on the radio?
I got some hot news for you guys. The new CO just got in on the Clipper.
Yeah? What's his name?
Jeff Caton.
Caton? Hey, wait a minute. That must be artillery, Caton. I knew him in China. That guy eats him up alive.
Tough, huh?
Tough. He had me in and out of the brig so much I wore it out. Hey, boys, the honeymoon's over. From now on, you're Marines.
Hello, Jeff. How are you, Johnson? Glad to see you.
Have a good trip?
Fine, thank you.
Jeff, our commanding officer. Commander Roberts, Major Kate.
Reporting, sir.
Major, I'm glad to have you share our exile with us.
Thank you, sir.
This is Parkman, our doctor, Major Kate.
How do you do?
Play bridge, Major?
Well, I play at it, sir.
Certainly need new blood here. This way, Major. You probably want to see your quarters.
Well, thank you very much.
Later this afternoon, I'll show you around the island.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'm Hogan, Pete Hogan, your foreman.
How are you? Well, I'm glad there's somebody here to meet me.
Well, if I'd have thought of it, I'd have had some of our boys lined up for you with shovels.
How you been making out?
Oh, fair to middling. We built quarters for the men and spotted some of the groundwork. We've sort of been waiting around for you.
Why? Did you pour any concrete yet?
Not yet, no. The excavating ain't finished.
Well, let's finish it, mister. I've never been late with a contract yet, not even a government one, and I'm not going to start in on this bird sanctuary. Get going, Hogan.
And there's the airfield over that way, Major. You can just about see the whole works from the tower here.
So this is all there is to it?
That's all.
Well, you could hardly call this place Gibraltar, could you, Commander?
21 feet at its highest elevation. And in any sort of a breeze, my friend, it all shakes.
Well, sir, if the Navy has survived, I guess the Marines can. You know, Commander, my outfit's supposed to be a defense battalion. I don't see much to defend here. Matter of fact, not much to defend it with.
Only Marines. Well, now that you've landed, Major, you'd better get the situation in hand.
We will, sir. Starting straight away. I have an inspection in 10 minutes.
Come on, you guys. Inspection. 10 minutes. Snap it up, Smaxy. Yeah. I won't have to take his gup any longer, Joe. 7 more days, and all you'll see are my tail feathers.
Hey, I still got that $10, and it still says you don't leave.
Do you really want to lose $10?
Put up or shut up.
Okay, here's my 10. You can hold it.
It's a bet.
Wait a minute. Where's your dough?
I got it all right. Don't worry.
Let me see it.
Well, it's very dangerous to leave money laying around here. The captain's holding it for me.
Give me back that $10. Come on, give me.
Oh, so you don't trust me, huh?
Not $10 worth, I don't. Hey, Skipper, come here. Ah, girl. How's the girl today?
Come on, Smaxy, straighten up that mess in there.
Yeah, right away. All right, take it easy, Skipper. Hey, who took that picture I had? Oh, there it is. Hello, beautiful. That's for you, honey.
Hey, what's that thing?
That ain't no thing. It's a picture of a dame.
Let me see. Yeah, could be.
You got it upside down. Turn it around. There.
I like it better the other way.
Listen, brother, when you act disrespectful about her, you're acting disrespectful about the dame what's practically Mrs. Aloysius K. Randall, and I don't like it, see?
Why, you thick-headed clunk. You mean to tell me you're thinking about getting married?
Certainly, why not?
You mean to tell me you found a dame that would marry you?
The nuptials is being performed in Frisco New Year's morning. Besides, dumber-looking clucks than me get married.
Name one.
Well, why, you...
Hey, lay off, you big slob.
I'll murder you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You and who else, brother?
This is just a sample.
Go ahead, slug. Let's see what you...
I'll learn you. I'll knock your teeth out.
Yeah, you and who else?
Me and myself, see? I'll murder you.
Major Kate. Well, what's going on around here? Who's responsible for this?
I am, Major.
Who are these men, Sergeant?
Roberts, Randall, and Doyle, sir.
Oh, yes. Haven't we met before, Randall?
Yes, sir. The China Station, sir.
I suppose you've already discovered, Randall, that we have no brig here.
Yes, sir.
You know, I haven't got much faith in brigs anyway.
No, sir.
Putting a Marine in the brig is a waste of good manpower.
That's right, sir.
I'll see these men in the morning, Sergeant. In the meantime, I'll try and think of some way of diverting their surplus energy into a more useful and constructive channel.
Yes, sir. Hey, I don't like the sound of that constructive channel stuff.
Yeah, to me that sounds like digging holes or something. Yeah, what did I tell you, Joe? I said digging holes, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, if this is a sample of Caton's constructive channels, give me the brig.
Yeah, a couple of good Marines digging holes with a bunch of civilians. Hey, what are we digging here anyway?
Slit trench.
Huh?
Bomb shelter for air raids.
What bombs in what air raids?
Do I know?
Hiya, boys. How's it going?
Who's that mug?
McCluskey.
What's on your mind, pal?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to see what happens when Marines have to do a good day's work.
Hey, Joe, what are you supposed to give you for pelting a civilian?
With or without provocation?
Both.
Yeah? For busting a guy like that, I guess they give you a Medal of Honor. Hey, there she blows. Come on, Smaxy.
Oh, what a prick.
Hey, you guys, get back here. Get back in the trench and start digging. Hogan! Hey, hold it!
Yes, sir?
What goes on around here? What's everybody running for?
Orders, Mr. McCluskey.
Whose orders for what?
Air raid drill. Here it is on this notice. Approach of enemy aircraft will be signaled by long blast of klaxon horn. All civilian workers will thereupon take cover.
Where did you get that?
Major Caton's office.
Oh, Major Caton, eh? Well, I might as well shake that guy out of my hair right now. Get those men back to work. Major, it's my job to keep those men out there working and the machinery rolling. But if they're going to run in the bushes every time a brass hat toots a horn, I'm going to wind up behind the 8 ball.
Responsibility for the life of every man on this island is vested in us, Mr. McCluskey. In times like these, air raid drill is necessary.
In times like these, it's necessary for you guys to let me get my job finished.
We're just as anxious as you are for you to finish your job.
Right, then quit stampeding my men with that auto horn and let me get to it.
Everybody must participate in the air raid drill. There will be no exceptions.
Oh, so it's a must, is it?
It's a must.
Well, General, the first man of mine that ducks in the bushes when that horn blows is going to get a 2x4 over his head.
Mr. McCluskey, just a moment, please. I'm going to give you a bit of advice. Orders from the United States Navy Department will be obeyed. That's all, Mr. McCluskey.
This was the life of Wake Island, when on the afternoon of November 9th, a clipper ship arrived, bearing a special Japanese envoy, en route to the United States. His name, Saburo Kurusu.
Gentlemen, it is my great privilege to propose a toast to that great executive of your great democracy, whose lasting peace it is my country's greatest wish to preserve. Gentlemen, I give you President of United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Hear, hear. Gentlemen, I give you His Imperial Majesty Emperor Hirohito of Japan.
Thank you. As you all know, I am on my way to Washington. With me, I carry a message from my emperor to President of your country. Gentlemen, it is a message of peace. I regret very much to say that between my people and your people, there have been some small misunderstanding. But it is therefore my emperor's desire that I show to your president the heart of the Japanese people. And I do solemnly swear that in that heart he will find no thought of war, but rather a yearning for lasting peace. Therefore, gentlemen, I ask that you wish me Godspeed.
This was the life of Wake Island, when on the peaceful Sunday morning of December 7th, 1941, Mr. Cordell Hull received in conference Japanese Ambassador Nomura and Saburo Kurusu, the envoy of peace.
This morning, Envoy Kurusu stated that his emperor's message would, he was confident, solve the Pacific problem. So today, for the first time in many anxious months, a new note of optimism and hope marks the tempo of the Washington scene.
Why don't you quit listening to that stuff, Joe? Get something romantic, will you?
Romantic?
For you? Yeah. Hey, put this picture in my bag, will you? It's Myrtle. You remember? Myrtle, honey. I'm on my way, baby.
So you're really going to go, huh?
Yeah, and oh, by the way, before I go, you owe me $10.
Oh, no, you haven't left yet.
Well, I ain't dressed up for no Sunday morning inspection. How you like my civvies, Joe?
You're just beautiful. One look at you in that outfit, the old man will throw the book at you.
Yeah, well, I got his permission. See, Mr. Smart Guy? Mr. Randall Caton says you are now a gentleman of leisure, and if you wish to travel in formal attire, he says it's okay by me. Mr. Aloysius K. Randall, Esquire, is back in circulation, and how do you like that? So long, Josie.
Hey, what's your hurry? Clipper doesn't leave just this minute.
Well, I'm going over to see Sparks. I want him to radio Myrtle to lay in a supply of orange blossoms. World, here I come.
On your way, civilian.
Here you are, Sparks. I got a message for you to send.
Ah, yes, Maxie. Let's have it.
It's all written down here. See, there's just one thing. How do you spell nuptials?
Nuptials? N-U-P-T-I. Hey, hold it a second.
N-U-P-T-I.
Shut up,
You don't have to eat my head off,
Shut
do
up.
you? What's the matter with you? Your wife having triplets or something?
The Japs have just attacked Honolulu. They bombed Pearl Harbor.
Holy smokes.
brief intermission, we'll hear Act Two of Wake Island, starring Brian Donlevy, Robert Preston, and Broderick Crawford. Meantime, in many homes today, you might find young wives writing letters like this one.
Sorry, I haven't written before, but I just don't have a minute. Bob is working nights now, making airplane engines. And what with the kids at school, it seems as though I'm cooking or packing lunchboxes or washing dishes for some of us the whole time.
But in spite of all those extra dishes to wash, the hands that are writing this letter are soft and smooth and lovely. You'd never guess to look at them now that not so long ago they were rough and red. What made the difference? A very simple thing. Changing from a strong dishwashing soap to gentle Lux Flakes. Careful tests have shown that making this one simple change gets rid of dishpan redness. The women who made these tests used no creams or lotions on their hands. They just changed to Lux Flakes. Now, isn't that an easy thing to do? And all it costs is less than a penny a day. That ugly dishpan look goes so quickly, too, when you change to Lux. In the tests, hands were noticeably lovelier in from 2 to 7 days. And men do notice things like pretty hands, as smart wives know. So let Lux Flakes help you have the smooth, soft hands that every woman wants. Get the thrifty big box of Lux Flakes first thing tomorrow and use it for your dishes every day.
82 years ago, October 26, 1942, the Lux Radio Theater on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Because millions in Europe and Asia still have need for clothing and food relief, and because nonprofit CARE still sends more food and clothing per dollar spent, continue to give the CARE way for the relief of misery in foreign lands. Send your name and the name of the person you're helping with complete address to CARE, New York. Enclose $10 or $6.95 for the new budget parcel. CARE, New York.
We continue now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with more of the Lux Radio Theater 82 years ago, October 26, 1942.
Now the second act of Wake Island, starring Brian Donlevy as Major Jeffrey Caton, Robert Preston as Joe, and Broderick Crawford as Smexy.
Hiding in the black night of December 6th, the Jap bared his fangs. On the morning of December 7th, he struck. A wounded nation struggled to its feet and cried for vengeance. On Wake Island, the handful of Marines leaped to battle stations. 4 of the 12 planes took to the skies.
All right, let's get in there now.
Plane all set to go, Pabinsky.
Yes, sir.
Good shape?
Yes, sir. But airplanes, Lieutenant, they're like women. Sometimes they act good, sometimes bad. Sometimes you cannot tell.
I'll take a chance on this one. You're the best mechanic I've ever met.
Thank you.
Russian, aren't you?
No, Lieutenant. Polish.
Pole? What got you into the Marine Corps?
I had a wife and 2 children. They were in Warsaw.
Oh.
Ready on number 5.
Good luck, sir.
Thanks. My wife is at Pearl Harbor.
Everything in order, Major?
I was just hearing the doctor's plan, sir. Emergency stations have been set up at all key positions.
Very good. How about you, Patrick?
4 planes in the air, sir. The other 8 in reserve.
They'll always be 4 aloft, is that right?
That's right, sir.
Now, what have you been able to do about the civilians, Major?
I've ordered them to take cover in the slit trenches wherever possible, sir.
Good. I'd like to see those stations, Doctor.
Hey, Caton!
Yes?
I want to see you.
Oh, well, McCloskey.
Listen, that air raid alarm's got my men running around like gophers again. How do you expect me to get my job done?
Well, evidently you don't know.
You got a piece of paper, you can have my resignation. You want to run my job? Well, go ahead and run it.
I'm afraid that won't be practical at the moment, Mr. McCloskey. The Japs have just bombed Pearl Harbor.
What? Say that again.
The Japs have just bombed Pearl Harbor. The Pan American Clipper will take off as soon as Commander Roberts deems it advisable. There'll be a place on it for you. In the meantime, find yourself some shelter and stay out of the way.
Major Caton.
Yes?
Enemy plane sighted, sir. Bearing southwest. 24 of them.
24. 24 against 4. Well, happy birthday to us. Patrick?
Yes, sir?
Attack as you see fit.
Yes, sir.
our detail.
Run away.
Come on, Jep. Come on and get it. Yahoo! Hey, fellas, I just thought of something. What? Smaxy, he was going to leave on a clipper. Come on, Jep. Come on, you birds up there. We didn't do so bad, you know.
Yeah, wait till they come again, that's all.
Come on, you guys. Get that ammunition stacked up there.
Underway, Sarge.
When you finish, go on down to the next gun in place.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, guys. Wait, what you doing?
Hey, Tommy. Don't look now, but I think we got a fifth columnist with us.
Oh, cut it out, will you?
He ain't no fifth columnist, Joe. That's Smaxy Randall, remember?
Oh, yeah, I thought I recognized him. Didn't he used to be a Marine?
That's what I hear.
Oh, lay off of me, will you?
Gee, he looks pretty, don't he? Wipe that hat.
Yeah. Don't get those clothes dirty, Smaxy.
Oh, will you quit it? I was just passing the time till the clipper leaves, and... Well, I was wondering how your new partner was making out, Joe.
Oh, now, don't you worry about us, Smaxy.
I'm doing fine, Smaxy. Ain't I, Joe?
Sure.
Yeah? Well, why don't you put that ammunition box on straight, then?
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Who's that over there?
Oh, hello, Sarge. It's me, remember?
Yeah, well, on your way, Randall. Go on, beat it.
Hey, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Go on, scram.
Listen, you lay off of me before I take a poke at that thing you call a face. You're talking to a civilian, see?
That's just it, buddy. Civilians belong in the slit trenches. Major Caton's orders. Come on, Randall, over this way.
All right. Don't shove me. Don't shove me.
Take good care of that civilian, Sarge, and don't let nothing happen to that elegant hat.
Oh, Major Caton.
Yes, Doctor.
I think you can see Commander Roberts now.
Thank you.
Just a moment, Major.
Yes?
He's been hurt very badly. I wouldn't stay too long.
All right.
Go ahead.
Commander Roberts, Major Caton reporting, sir.
Oh, come in, Caton. Come in. I've been waiting to hear about the attack.
Yes, sir. Everything's all right, sir.
Did they do much damage?
I'm checking on it now, sir.
Major, this is the room where we entertained those Beast Boys, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Seems like a long time ago.
Yes, sir.
I take back that toast I gave to His Imperial Majesty. Major, yes. If you don't mind, you'd better leave.
Of course. I'll drop in later, if I may.
Major, I have that report, sir.
Lewis, just a minute. We'll have to move Dr. Parkman and the wounded underground.
Aye, sir.
This has been a checkerboard bombing. That sort of stuff is no respecter of hospitals. Suppose you pick out a likely spot and detail a work party.
Aye, sir.
Well, Patrick, how'd you make out with your outfit?
23 wounded, 7 killed, sir. 7 planes out of commission. All the oil and gasoline on the field destroyed.
Even the big tanks?
That's right, sir.
Not so good.
How did the defense battalion make out, sir?
Not bad, considering the strafing we got.
You'll have to admit they did a pretty thorough job of it.
With mathematical precision, square yard by square yard. When they attack again, I have a feeling they won't bomb the same square twice. So it's up to us to move our guns, equipment, and supplies into the areas already bombed. I suggest you follow the same procedure with your planes.
Aye, aye, sir.
Patrick, you and your boys have done a fine job. We're proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
Keep pitching.
Aye, aye, sir.
Captain Gordon of the Clipper, sir.
Oh, yes. Come in, Captain. My name's Caton.
How do you do, sir?
Is the Clipper all right?
Well, lots of near misses, but it wasn't damaged, sir.
Well, that's a help. You ready to take off?
With your permission, sir.
Well, I don't see anything to hold you, unless our Japanese friends pay us another visit before you get away. All your passengers aboard?
Well, they should be by now, sir. They were boarding when I left.
Well, good luck. And happy landings.
Okay, civilian, on the Clipper. Come on.
Take it easy, Lug.
Corporal Lug to you. Get on that plane.
Hey, where's that dog of mine? Hey, Skipper. Here, Skip. Come on, girl.
Never mind the dog. Get going.
That's funny. I ain't seen her since the attack.
Now, listen, Dope. The Clipper's waiting. You're holding up the parade.
Look. Don't crowd me, will you?
Get on that Clipper and get on it fast. That's an order.
Listen, Squirt, I'll get on when I'm good and ready, and don't give me no orders. I'm a civilian, see?
Hey, Bill. Mac, come here. Take this here civilian and toss him on board the Clipper.
Oh, yeah? Try it.
Go on. Get going.
Oh, boy. Come on, boys. Come and get it. Come and get it.
Hey, take it easy, Smaxy. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
on, Sergeant. What happened then?
Well, as I understand it, sir, the accused here refused to get aboard the clipper, spoke disrespectful to Corporal Bennett, and assaulted first-class privates Riley and Richmond, causing them grievous bodily harm.
I see. Well, Randall, what have you got to say for yourself?
Well, sir, it's these clothes here, sir.
What?
Well, since I've been wearing this civilian outfit, I just don't seem to have no control.
Control?
Over my emotions.
Randall, if my memory serves me correctly, weren't you before me on a similar charge back in Shanghai?
Oh, no, sir.
No?
No, sir. That time it was the captain of that Italian gunboat. Remember the one with the long whiskers?
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember now. You did a pretty good job on him.
Oh, thank you, sir. Well, Major, if it's all the same to you, I'd like to make the same request now I made then.
You mean to extend your enlistment to ship over?
Yes, sir.
Randall, as man to man, I congratulate you on your decision. But as your commanding officer, I can tell you now that since the beginning of hostilities, you've never been out. You're a Marine for the duration.
Yeah?
If you'd gotten aboard the clipper, they would have told you. Now, Randall, I have a request to make of you.
Yes, sir?
Burn that dog catcher's outfit you're wearing and get back into uniform.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant, post him for duty. That's all.
Left, right, forward, march.
That's all, Corporal.
Mr. Hogan is here, sir.
Oh, yes. Hello, Hogan.
Hello, Major. I've brought my report.
Let me see. Not so good.
No, sir. Any further instructions?
No. Just tell the rest of your men to stay under cover, what's left of it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, Hogan, did your Mr. McCloskey get off on the clipper?
As far as I know.
So far as he knows, he's all wet.
Oh, so you didn't leave after all, McCloskey?
Well, you thought I was going to run out on you, huh?
Well,
I was. But I changed my mind.
McCloskey, I'm glad you're staying.
Why?
Because I need a man like you.
Good. Give me a gun.
No. No, you can be more valuable than that.
What do I do?
Dig. Dig holes, lots of them. Revetments for our planes. Shelter trenches. You'd better start by digging a big one. One big enough to hold all the casualties in our emergency hospital.
Consider it done.
Thank you, McCloskey. Good evening, Lieutenant Cameron.
Evening, sir.
Hard at it, I see.
Yes, sir. We're running out of spare parts for the plane, sir, so we're rolling our own.
Well, I just thought I'd drop in and see how you were doing.
Thank you. How's the rest of the world doing, sir?
Not so good. Cameron.
Yes, sir?
Sit down, Cameron. I've got some bad news.
Yeah, I've heard about it, sir.
What?
You mean about Commander Roberts, don't you? I've heard he's in pretty bad shape.
It's not the commander, it's your wife. She was killed in the bombing at Pearl Harbor.
Killed?
I know there's nothing I can say that will comfort you. You know, Cameron, memories are funny things. They mold a man. From the time a man can remember his mother, his sisters, his first sweetheart, his wife, even those women he might like to forget, even they give him memories that might help sometime. No, there's nothing I can say that will comfort you. You're like me now, a man with a memory. But we're not alone. In this war, in any part of the world, wherever they've dropped even a stick of bombs, they've made thousands like us, men without wives, without children, without a single thing they've ever loved or held dear. And for those men, there's a job to do. To fight. Fight with guns and bayonets and tanks and ships and planes. Fight to destroy destruction. We've got to destroy destruction, Bruce. That's our job.
7 out of 12 planes lost or disabled. The tiny island pockmarked by enemy bombs. And now the Jap returns to finish the job. This time, the danger is not from the sky.
Enemy fleet approaching. Some destroyers, light cruisers. Troop ships, possible submarines. Bearing 130 true.
Range 17000.
About 10 miles.
Yes, sir. Looks like they have no intention of stopping.
That's up to us.
Sir?
I'm going to try and pull an old Chinese trick, Captain. Get all the men under cover. Conceal all guns and planes. When the fleet gets into range, they'll start shelling us. Do not return their fire.
Enemy changing formation. Changing formation.
They're preparing to attack us, sir.
Well, that's what they came for.
Range 9050.
They're closing in, sir. Shall we return their fire now, sir?
No, not yet.
Range 8050. Range 5400.
Signal from the Japs, sir.
What is it?
Will you surrender?
We'll give them their answer in a few moments.
Range 5300. Range 5200.
Lewis, did you ever hear of Colonel William Prescott?
No, sir.
Well, he was the gentleman at the Battle of Bunker Hill who said, "Don't fire till you can see the whites of their eyes." You know, I've always remembered that.
Well, I'll certainly remember it from now on, sir.
Look at those ships, Joe, right up under our noses. They could drop a shell on one of those babies and wipe out 100 Japs.
Yeah, let's take a crack at them right now. What do you say, Smaxy?
Wait a minute. You know the orders. We're supposed to hold our fire.
Yeah, well, I don't know what for. If they get any closer, they'll blow this island to bits.
What do you care? It ain't your island, is it? Hey, look out!
Brother, that one was close.
Yeah. Hey, you know, Joe, there's an awful lot of dope being wasted around here.
How do you mean?
Look at all them shells dropping. Why, the price of one of them alone would set me and Myrtle up pretty on a little chicken ranch.
Chickens? I thought you were all set for hogs.
No, hogs is out. I decided that.
Why?
They stink.
Hey, you all right, Smaxy? Smaxy?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay. Just knock the wind out of me, that's all.
Oh, why don't Caden let us fire? We could murder him.
Yeah, anyway, like I was telling you, Joe, hogs is definitely out. They Range 4900. Range 4800. Range 4700.
Doctor, to all batteries.
To all batteries!
Open fire!
Open fire!
That was a real pasting we gave them, sir. They came right up under our guns.
Yes, I imagine they got quite a surprise.
Enemy 8-inch gun cruiser sighted. Bearing 230 true.
What's the distance?
About 15 miles, sir.
15 miles. Not so good.
Oh, that's way beyond our range, sir. Can lay out there and smear us at will.
Major Caton.
Well, Lieutenant Cameron.
I think I can get that cruiser, sir.
What?
Yes, sir.
How do you propose to do it?
If I strip my plane to the bone and limit the gas load, I can make a takeoff with a double load of bombs. Enough to do the job, sir.
If you get 2 direct hits.
I think I can, sir.
Request granted, Lieutenant Cameron.
Thank you, sir.
And Bruce, good hunting.
Through the gray sky, still heavy with the smoke of battle, a lone airplane roars toward its target. From the Jap guns, red tongues of flame flash upward. Battered and full of holes, the plane flies on, and then swoops downward. Two direct hits. The Jap cruiser rocks and turns on its side. Bruce Cameron, the pilot, returned. As he brought his ship to the field for a landing, his lifeblood stained the uniform he wore.
Nice job, Bruce. Bruce, that was a...
He cannot hear you, sir. He's dead.
Yes. Pass the word, Probensky. Burial service after dark. Usual time.
Slave ready, sir.
Bring him over here. Have you got the prayer book, Lewis?
No, sir. The only one left was in the barracks, sir. It was destroyed.
I see.
Bruce was a good Marine, sir. Couldn't you, well, just sort of say something for us?
I'll try. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Lower away.
Mr. DeMille returns in a moment to present Brian Donlevy, Robert Preston, and Broderick Crawford in Act 3 of Wake Island. In the meantime, we're sure you can recognize this. Yes, that's one of the anti-aircraft guns, the AC-AC the Marines used at Wake Island. Did you ever stop to think how the ammunition for guns like these is made? Believe me, it's a big job, and a lot of materials are used in the making. One of these is glycerin. And one of the biggest sources of glycerin right now is your kitchen. Glycerin is made from waste kitchen fats, greases, and meat drippings. So save all of these in a clean, wide-top can and take them to your meat dealer as soon as you have a pound or more. He'll pay you for them. And those guns will deliver a special message from you to the Axis. We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
And the conclusion of Wake Island from 82 years ago, October 26, 1942, on the Lux Radio Theater, when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, last year's traffic death toll was 37,500, a 7% increase over 1950. The National Safety Council believes that the best way to promote safety on the road is for each of us to know and obey traffic laws, to read and heed traffic signs. So be careful. The life you save may be your own.
Recognize this isn't just Hollywood drama. This is from 1942. The U.S. involvement in World War II was less than a year along at this point in time. A major motion picture had been made about Wake Island, and here you have three major stars speaking about it. Lux Radio Theater, 82 years ago, October 26, 1942, Wake Island.
Now, here's something interesting, something I never knew till now, and perhaps many women may not know. The way you wash woolens can make a difference in their warmth. Here's the reason. The tiny wool fibers interlock, forming little air pockets that hold the heat. If you rub wool in washing, these fibers mat together and shrink. Many of the tiny air spaces disappear, and your sweater or dress or blanket won't keep you as warm as it did before. That's one reason it's so important to avoid cake soap rubbing, to wash woolens the gentle Lux way. With Lux, you avoid other enemies of wool, too, hot water and harmful alkali. As experts will tell you, even a weak solution of alkali can make wool more apt to shrink, and strong alkali can actually dissolve the fabric. So stick to gentle Lux care, and your sweaters and blankets, dresses, the children's things
All your washable woolens will stay soft and unshrunken and warm much longer. The curtain rises now on the third act of Wake Island, starring Brian Donlevy as Major Jeffrey Caton, Robert Preston as Joe, and Broderick Crawford as Smexy.
On the 12th of December, 1941, the radio at Wake Island tapped out a message to Washington.
6th enemy attack. 27 Jap bombers in division of V's overhead at 10:30.
Day after day, the Japs smashed at the tiny stronghold.
Wake Marines repel 8th attack.
Day after day, the gallant Marines stood and took it. The 18th of December came.
Wake Island still holds.
The 19th. The 20th, the 21st.
Wake still holds.
You sent for me, Major?
Oh, yes, Captain Lewis, I did. Have a cigarette?
Oh, thank you, sir.
You know, we've been getting it pretty steady for some time now. I've got a hunch we're in for a few hours breather.
Your hunches are usually right, sir.
I contacted a Navy patrol plane. They're going to take a chance and come in.
I hope they make it.
Yeah. Lewis, how'd you like to be home for Christmas? Christmas dinner in Honolulu with your missus and the youngsters. How does it sound to you?
Well, you know how it sounds, sir.
All right, get your gear together and stand by.
Not this Marine, sir.
I thought you'd say that. For 2 weeks now, Lewis, we've engaged the enemy daily. We've learned a lot about his tactics. That's information the Navy Department needs firsthand.
Well, there's Patrick.
Patrick's the only pilot that I've got left.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I'm staying.
Captain Lewis, this is an order.
Aye, sir.
Here's my official report. I'm not very good at this sort of thing, but I guess with what you can tell them, it'll give them a pretty good idea of what's going on here.
Yes, sir.
And one more thing. Pete, will you do me a personal favor? This letter, it's for my daughter.
I'll see that she gets it.
Thanks. And just say I won't be able to send for her. Not for a while, anyway. Well, so long, Pete.
Enemy again, sir. Approaching in force. Transport screened by a strong escort.
Well, looks like our holiday's over.
Ordnance report, sir. 50 caliber ammunition's nearly exhausted.
Get me the machine gun officer.
Yes, sir. Machine gun officer. Machine gun officer. He's on, sir.
Hello? Major Caton here. Replace the 50s with the 30 calibers. Follow Plan D. Split the gun crews, spare men to take up positions in number 1 beachhead lines. If possible, relieve some of your men and see that they get a square meal. They'll be needing it soon. Repeat, please. Full message.
Hey, you guys. How'd you like to wrap yourself around some real chow right now?
Listen, what do you mean? I cook this stuff good, see?
No hard feelings, Cookie. I only meant that if I was back in the States, out with a dame, sitting in some little cafe, you know what I'd order? A great big juicy steak about that wide and about that thick.
With onions?
Oh, yeah, with lots of onions.
I'd settle just to be back in the States.
I'd settle just to be with a dame.
With a dame. Yeah.
What are we talking about it for?
Well, that's all we can do.
Hey, Joe, come here. It's okay now.
Yeah, on my way. Come on, Smexy.
What's the matter?
Come on, we got a surprise for you.
Yeah, but my chow's getting cold.
Now, look, this is better than chow. Come on, will you?
What could be better than chow?
Lots of things.
On this island?
All right. So maybe it came from heaven.
What are you talking about?
Now, never mind. Now, close your eyes.
Oh, stop it.
No, this is serious. Close your eyes.
Okay, I'm closed. Now what?
Now, if you had 3 wishes, what would you wish for?
Myrtle.
No. Something better than myrtle.
What could be better than myrtle?
Lots of things. Now, wish.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me see. Still myrtle.
Yeah. One-track mind. All right, now open your eyes.
Hey, what is it? Hey, it's Skipper. Hello, girl. Where have you been? See, Hey.
Yeah, she's got company.
What are those things?
Puppies, you dope. 4 of them.
Puppies? Skipper's puppies?
Sure.
Well, for Skipper. Congratulations.
Oh, fine. Congratulations.
I didn't even know about it. Why don't somebody tell me these things?
Uh-oh. Come on, Smexy.
Okay, boys, here we go again. Battle stations,
Major Caton.
Yes?
Our last plane is down, sir.
Last one, that's Patrick. How about him?
We saw the whole thing, sir. He went on fire, then he bailed out, and we...
Bailed out? We'll contact the beachhead. Tell him to stand by to pick him up.
It's no use, sir. The Japs machine gunned him as he came down.
Machine gunned him? Why, the dirty... Get back to your post, Captain.
Aye, sir.
Ordnance reports. Direct hit on ammunition dump, sir.
Another signal from the enemy, sir. They demand immediate surrender. Any answer, sir?
Tell him to come and get us.
Aye, aye, sir.
They've got the Pan American Inn straddled, sir. I can't get through on the phone.
Call all posts.
To all posts. To all posts.
Stand by to repel landing parties. Follow Plan G. Fire independently.
Stand by to repel landing parties. Follow Plan G. Fire independently.
Yes?
The enemy has landed on 2 points, sir, and gaining ground. I tried to get you on the phone, but couldn't.
Thank you. Talker, call emergency radio.
Yes, sir. Emergency radio. Emergency radio. I can't seem to raise anyone, sir.
Keep trying.
Yes, sir. Emergency radio. Emergency radio.
Hiya, Major.
Oh, come in, McCloskey. Well, how's everything with you?
Well, I figured I've done everything I could. Now I'd like that gun.
You know, McCloskey, I've been thinking along those same lines myself. Suppose you and I go out and find one. Together.
Right.
I'll leave a message for radio first. Any luck, Talker? Did you get him?
The lines are dead, sir.
All right, drop it. Talker, I've got a message written here. It's for Washington. Will you try and get through to Sparks with it?
I'll do the best I can, sir.
Thank you. And good luck, fella.
They're backing up, sir. They're backing up again.
Japs are heading back for the beachhead, sir. Probably form a new line and be at us again in a couple of minutes.
Let them come. We'll hand them a little more of the same. Pass the word to cease firing.
She's firing!
He's firing! He's firing!
Well, we'll get a breather anyway. Keep that ammunition coming as fast as you can.
Aye, sir. Smexy, how you doing?
I'm okay. I got 10 of them that last trip.
Nice work, fella. Boy, I'm tired.
That's all right. So are the Japs.
Yeah. Hey, what are you thinking about, Smexy?
Oh, a lot of things. Home in San Francisco. Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
Joe, how many blondes do you suppose there was that we didn't get around to?
Oh, must be an awful lot of them. I bet at least 2 dozen.
2 dozen, huh? Boy, that's an awful lot of blondes. You know, I sort of feel sorry for them, don't you?
I don't know. Only about half of them are missing anything.
Oh, cut it out, will you?
Okay, Smexy, no ribbon, huh? We save it for the Japs.
I got through Sparks with that message, sir.
Good boy. Did he send it yet?
He's repairing his apparatus. He says he'll have it fixed in about 10 minutes.
Good.
Hiya, Major.
Oh,
Got any more of those hand grenades left?
help yourself, McCloskey. Right there in the box.
Thanks.
You know, this is a pretty good trench you fellas dug.
Came in handy, didn't it?
Yes. Have a cigarette?
Thanks. Well, how much longer do you think we can last, Major?
Oh, long enough, I guess. Say, I was watching you toss some of those grenades before. You've got a pretty good arm there.
Thanks.
From the way you throw, I'd almost think you had played football.
That's it? Notre Dame 28?
Yeah. I'm VMI 28.
Hiya, Caton.
I am McCloskey.
Here they come, Major.
Fire independently. Let's go.
Fire independently! Give it to them, boys! Let them have it!
Let's see a couple of those long forwards, McCloskey.
Get under this one, Jap!
Nice work, McCloskey.
Come on, get it, Jap. Step up and take it.
Come on, Smexy!
Yo!
10 for 1, Smexy. 10 for every one of us!
10 for 1. Come on, Jap.
From Wake Island on that day, one more message came through to Washington.
Washington, D.C., the enemy has landed. The issue is still in doubt.
The enemy has landed. The issue is still in doubt. These Marines fought a great fight. They wrote history. But this is not the end. There are other leathernecks, other fighting Americans, 130 million of them, whose blood and sweat and fury will exact a just and terrible vengeance.
The curtain falls on Act 3 of the Lux Radio Theater's presentation of Wake Island. While we await the return of our stars for their curtain calls, we have a message for the women of our audience. Nearly everybody is working harder these days, and many of you are not only running homes, but helping in war jobs. You have extra work, extra walking, and that means added strain on precious stockings.
Just in my daily housework, I walk 7 or 8 miles.
Dancing just one evening at the soldiers' canteen averages more than 4 miles for me.
Yes, today's jobs mean plenty of strain on delicate stocking threads. Whether you're wearing nylon, silk, or the new rayons, it's wise to give stockings Lux care after every wearing. Over 90% of all makers of stockings, nylon, silk, rayon, cotton, and wool, recommend Lux Flakes. These gentle flakes save the elastic quality of stockings, so they don't break easily into runs. So they fit you in a more flattering way, too. Be wise. Lux all stockings after each wearing. Now, here's Mr. DeMille with our stars.
We needn't speak of the fine performances given by our stars and the entire cast tonight, because like the inspired performances of the Marines at Wake Island, they spoke for themselves. And here are Brian Donlevy, Robert Preston, and Broderick Crawford returning to the footlights.
Thank you, C.B. It was an honor for me to have a part in this Navy Day celebration here. It was just 20 years ago that the observance began, so that makes tomorrow our first wartime Navy Day.
October 27th is a big day in Navy history, Brian. The Navy was founded by the Continental Congress on October 27th, 1775. And tomorrow is also the birthday of Theodore Roosevelt, who was largely responsible for the beginnings of modern United States naval policy.
Well, let's not forget the birthday the Marine Corps has coming, C.B. 2 weeks from tomorrow, the Marine Corps will be 167 years old.
Well, that makes both the Navy and the Marines older than the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, and they've always been pretty independent, too, Brod, as our enemies will discover before this war is over.
By the way, what's your play next Monday, C.B.?
Everybody will remember the picture when I give you the title. It's Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's great screenplay, A Woman's Face. And our stars are Ida Lupino, Brian Ahern, and Conrad Veidt. A Woman's Face is the story of a beautiful woman who turns to a career of crime when an accident mars her beauty. Ida Lupino plays the part of the woman, and Brian Ahern the man who helps her find love again in this drama of unusual power.
Well, with that cast, you're sure to have some good acting, C.B.
It's time now to say goodbye for a while to another of the stars who brought us many happy hours in the Lux Radio Theater. After playing a Marine in Wake Island, I suppose he wanted to be entirely impartial, because day after tomorrow, Robert Preston reports as a private to the United States Army.
Well, good luck, Bob. We're going to miss you.
Thanks, Bud. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. And there'll be another chapter to the story of Wake Island. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Flakes, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Ida Lupino, Brian Ahern, and Conrad Veidt in A Woman's Face. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Brian Donlevy's current picture is the Paramount production, The Glass Key. Robert Preston has just finished making the Paramount picture, Night Plane from Chongqing. Broderick Crawford appears through the courtesy of Universal Studio and has just finished the picture, Sin Town.
Heard in tonight's play were Fred Mackay, Paul Langton, Tyler McVeigh, Gail Gordon, Griff Barnett, Al Gerard, Howard McNear, Mary Lou Harrington, Edwin Max, Lillian Bond, Jeff Corey, Pinto Colvig, Wally Mayer, Charles Seal, Warren Ash, Leo Cleary, Janet Russell, Eddie Marr, and Jack Mather. Our music was directed by Louis Silvers. And this is your announcer, John M. Kennedy, reminding you to tune in next Monday night to hear Brian Ahern, Ida Lupino, and Conrad Veidt in A Woman's Face.
Want to feel like a million? Try Vims, the new vitamin mineral tablets. If you're vitamin starved, Vims will help you build up resistance to colds and safeguard your energy. Vims match the 6-vitamin formula doctors endorse, and they meet U.S. government standards, too. So get that Vims feeling. VI for vitamins, double MS for minerals. Vims. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
82 years ago, October 26, 1942, the Lux Radio Theater, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, presenting Charles Boyer.
Every day, as the war against Japan increases in intensity, the need for waste fats and greases grows more critical. Here's one department where the enemy may be superior unless you help make up the difference from your kitchens. Save all waste fats and greases, no matter how discolored. Keep a clean can in which to strain them and take them regularly to your butcher. Remember, for every pound, he'll give you 4 cents plus 2 extra meat points.
It was not a pretty story, it wasn't. But it was the truth. And Americans understood that the war was not going to be pretty, but it had to be won. All righty, let's move on now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox to presenting Charles Boyer, a short-run show from 74 years ago, October 26, 1950.
In a moment, transcribed, presenting Charles Boyer.
Et passer sans me voir.
Hello, my dear. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, Michel. La da da dee da da. La da 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 da.
The National Broadcasting Company takes pleasure in presenting a new series starring Charles Boyer as Michel. Each of us has a very personal acquaintance with the house we live in, with its weaknesses, its strengths, its dark corners, and the places where warmth and comfort are to be found. And that is the way that Michel knows Paris, because Paris is Michel's home. The floors are made of asphalt and cobblestone, the walls of stone and brick, and the ceiling, well, sometimes the ceiling is painted a deep and relaxed blue. Sometimes it is gray and somber. Not everyone can manage such a home, but not every home can boast of a resident as resourceful as Michel. If you will look through the window of that little restaurant on a back street of one of the poorer districts of Paris, you will see him. He's sitting at a table, waiting for his friend Bart Conway, the American writer.
There you are, Michel. I've discovered that walking on cobblestones is hard on the feet. Mine are crying for mercy.
I know what you mean, Mr. Conway. If you walk on the cracks between the stones, your shoe pinches. And if you walk on the crowns of the stones, your heels and toes are painfully suspended in midair.
That's right. I hope the food here is worth the trip. I must confess it doesn't look very promising.
I ask you to meet me here for 2 reasons.
Namely?
First, I thought you would welcome a change from the rich food and rich prices of the fashionable restaurants I've taken you to in the past. I confess that my conscience has been bothering me lately.
Oh, come now, Michel. You don't expect me to believe that. What was the real reason for bringing me here?
Well, this unpretentious restaurant serves the finest bread in Paris. And and only the finest bread is worthy of the cheese I've brought with me.
Brought with you? Here?
Certainly. Cesar, the proprietor, chef, and waiter, has it in the kitchen. He surrounds it with fresh white bread and the nameless and proud red table wine of the people.
You make it sound like a banquet. Where did you buy the cheese, Michel?
Buy? Can one buy something which has been salted with the tears of a little girl? Can one purchase the fragrance of the French countryside? Of course not. This cheese was sent to me by a hard-working farmer who lives in the hilly country near Lyon. It is remarkable not only because of its delicate flavor, but also because it is associated with a very moving story.
Ah, I see.
What? What do you see?
That this modest little meal is going to cost me $200.
But when your publisher reads your version of the story, he will gladly pay you far more than my fee for introducing you to the family of Pierre Brunel.
All right, Michel. Let's have the story while we eat some of this very expensive cheese.
Not so very long ago, Mr. Conway, I had the easiest job of my varied career.
I assume there wasn't the slightest bit of deception connected with it in any way.
No, Mr. Conway. True deception is an art which I practice only on my stomach. There have been times when I actually succeeded in convincing that organ that it was full of braised duck, orange sauce, and good wine.
When in reality,
it was so empty, if you had struck it, it would have sounded a low F of a kettle drum.
Go on, Michel. What about your job?
Well, I was employed by a real estate syndicate, which owned a lovely old castle on the River Rhone. It was situated close to a little village, and, what was more important, within easy reach of the main Paris-Marseilles Highway. The cars of every nation in the world traveled that road, Mr. Conway, and many of them stopped to pay a visit to the castle.
And you were the guide?
Oh, no, not at all. I was the jewel in the crown. I wandered about the grounds in a hunting costume, complete with feathered hat and shotgun. My only restriction was that I had to stay within sight of the castle tower during visiting hours. From there, I could be pointed out to the tourists as the non-existent proprietor of the castle, the last of the Dukes de Dombe.
Did you ever shoot anything?
Of course not. But I wore a pair of stuffed partridges at my belt for effect.
I see. And you bought the birds from the farmer in question?
No, I met the Brunels in quite another fashion. One day, toward closing time, I was in a corner of the grounds, adjoining a rocky, uncultivated hillside. My thoughts were suddenly disturbed by the sound of a despairing, heartbroken call, repeated over and over. I hurried in the direction of the voice.
Mathilde! Mathilde! Where are you, little Mathilde? Mathilde, please answer me. Mathilde! Oh, I should never have let you out of my sight. A little thing like you. Mathilde! Answer me. It's Papa Pierre. Mathilde!
It was a middle-aged farmer. The tears were streaming down his face, and he was limping badly. His trousers were torn, and there was an ugly gash in his left leg. There were no rich farmers in that section, and I didn't need the evidence of his torn shirt to know that he had other troubles besides Mathilde. He supported himself along the hillside, still calling, and then he fell again and lay there, his face pressed to the ground, sobbing. I got to him as quickly as I could. Hey, well, my friend, what's the trouble? You need a little help.
Mathilde.
Oh, come now. Let me help you up. Here, take my hand.
It's no use. She's gone.
Oh, she can't have wandered very far. You're in no condition to climb around anymore.
What am I going to tell Marie? She'll never forgive me.
Tell me, how long has she been missing?
Since this morning, monsieur.
Oh?
Oh, it's all my fault. She wasn't old enough to take care of herself. I should be put in jail. That's what I deserve.
No, it isn't dark yet. We have plenty of time to look for her. But you have to rest a bit and have that leg attended to. Where's your house?
Over the hill, in the next valley.
Oh, well, that's not so far. Now, let me have your hand. Good. There. Your arm over my shoulder now. That's all right. Just lean on me as much as you want.
No, I can't. I have to go on looking. Mathilde!
Please, stop that now. What good would it do if you got lost, too? All right, my friend. Let's go now. Keep your eyes on the ground and watch the stones. There we are. Just a few more steps now. How's your leg?
Oh, what does it matter?
Is there anyone at your house?
My wife, Marie. My daughter, Cecile. Cecile? Oh, what am I going to tell her?
Is Cecile older than Mathilde?
Older? Why, of course, monsieur. Cecile is 12.
And Mathilde?
Papa! Mama, he's come back.
Oh, monsieur, help me now.
Did you find her?
If I found her, do you think I would be coming home without her?
Oh, Papa, what are we going to do? It's all my fault.
No, my child. Don't blame yourself. I should have taken better care of her. I'm the father. It was my responsibility.
I'll never forgive myself.
Here comes your mama. It's going to be hard enough on her without you crying. Shh, quiet now.
Well, Pierre, no sign of her, huh?
No, Marie. I tried very hard. I looked everywhere.
I know. Well, we've got to keep on until we find her.
But the neighbors, won't they help? She must be around someplace. How far can she have gone?
Who knows?
Well, I'll tell them. We'll get up a search party.
No. Our neighbors have enough troubles of their own.
But surely they wouldn't...
Pierre, your leg. What happened?
Oh, more bad luck. I fell on the rocks near the chateau.
Oh, let me look at it. Oh, that has to be washed off. Here, let me help you.
No, I'll get him to the house, madam. You and Cecile run ahead and get some water and bandages ready.
Yes, monsieur. Right away.
All right, my friend. Let's try it again.
Mathilde, my poor little one. What are we going to do without you?
There we are. Cecile, open the door for us, will you?
Yes, monsieur.
Thank you, monsieur. You have been very kind to us in our moment of trouble.
You're a good friend. What is your name? We know you're not really the Duke.
No, I'm not the Duke. At this moment, I wish I were. My name is Michel.
Will you have something to eat with us? We don't have very much, but you'll honor us by staying. Since Mathilde disappeared...
No, I wouldn't think of it. You have your husband to take care of now.
This leg. This cursed leg.
Don't worry, Monsieur Brunel. Cecile and I will continue the search immediately. We will go to the village and notify the gendarmes. A young thing like Mathilde can't have wandered very far. Come, Cecile.
Yes, Michel.
Well, now, Cecile, you'll have to describe Mathilde to me so I'll recognize her. How old is she?
Only 2 years.
What? Only 2?
And so pretty. With the softest hair and brown eyes. Mathilde is the best cow in the whole province.
Cow? Mathilde is a cow?
Certainly. What did you think she was, monsieur? A cat?
Yes, Cecile, I confess I thought she was a cat. My first inclination was to laugh, Mr. Conway, but then I remembered that the Brunels were farmers. And a farmer without a cow is like a gypsy without a horse. To Pierre Brunel, the cow meant wealth and a certain amount of security. To his wife, it meant food for the family. And, well, to Cecile, Mathilde meant a friend and companion. A look around Pierre's hut convinced me that replacing Mathilde would be a great hardship. She had to be found. Since Pierre was unable to climb anymore because of his leg, Cecile and I continued the search. Here, Cecile. What about these tracks? Oh, they look pretty enough to belong to Mathilde.
Oh, no, Michel. Those tracks are several days old, and they belong to an older and larger cow. See, there was a calf with it. It's probably Mr. Garreau's clochette.
Oh, well, now that you point it out, of course I see it. Would you mind if we sat down for a minute on this nice, cool rock?
As you wish, Michel.
Thank you. You know, Cecile, city people are not so used to scrambling up and down mountains. When all of one's climbing has been confined to the stairs of the subway in Paris, well, these little hills seem like the Mont Blanc itself. I must say it's very lovely in your countryside, Cecile.
Yes, Michel. But as my papa says, one cannot eat scenery.
That is true. Your papa is a very wise man.
And he works so hard. And Mama, too. Now he has hurt his leg. And Mathilde is lost.
Are you the only child, Cecile?
I had an older brother, but the war.
Oh, yes. War does things to older brothers, doesn't it? Now, tell me about Mathilde. Does she come from your farm?
Oh, yes. You see, her mother died when she was born, and we were all very sad.
I can imagine.
But little Mathilde was so brave and strong, and so smart, too. You know, Michel, Mathilde understands me when I talk to her. Some cows only pretend to understand, but Mathilde really does. She winks her eye, or nods her head, or wiggles her ears, and I know just what she means.
Of course you do.
And she is kind, so very kind. You won't believe this, but I have seen her step to one side so she wouldn't crush a butterfly on the path.
Oh, I believe you. You say she has brown hair and eyes.
Yes, Michel. Don't you think we'd better...
Oh, by all means. Let's resume our search. There. Well, thank you for letting me rest, Cecile. You know, from what you tell me of Mathilde, she's too wise to get lost. She's probably playing a joke on us, hiding in a bush and laughing as she watches us search for her.
Oh, no, Michel. Mathilde would never do anything like that. She knows it wouldn't be funny.
You're right. Well, let's try calling her some more, shall we?
Mathilde! Mathilde! Michel, she can't have gone as far as this.
How do you know? Did she leave a note for you saying, "Dear Cecile, I'm just going up to the North Field to sample some new clover. Lovingly, Mathilde."
Oh, of course not. Mathilde can't write.
She can't? Well, from what you have told me, I was sure that was one of her accomplishments. You know, I'm really looking forward to meeting Mathilde. She sounds like such an unusual person.
Oh, she is.
When we get together, I'm going to teach Mathilde how to speak French. Then you and I will manage her campaign and have her elected to the Chamber of Deputies. Don't you think that's a good idea?
Oh, no, Michel.
No? Oh, you think she should become a senator, huh? Well, I do, too. Then maybe she can get me a job as janitor in the parliament. Oh, Cecile.
What is it?
I think I just saw her. Senator Mathilde. Up ahead. She went behind that big boulder.
Come on, Michel. Where? Where is she?
Straight ahead. Then to the left.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Brown hair.
I don't see her.
A little bit farther. There. There she is.
That's not Mathilde, Michel.
It isn't? Oh, I'm sorry, Cecile. I was sure it was.
Oh, no. That's Papa Bruneau's old Jersey cow.
Oh.
She's nothing like Mathilde.
Well, now that I get a good look at her, I don't see how I could possibly have confused her with the senator. All right, Cecile. Let's try up this way. And now, if we go up this little rise here, we ought to get a pretty good view of the other fields.
Yes, Michel.
I must admit I'm getting worried myself. Well, maybe the opposition heard she was going to run for office and kidnapped her to keep her out of the race.
Yes, Michel.
Tell me, Cecile, isn't that the Paris Highway down there?
Yes, Michel.
Well, let's get on up to the top so we can get a good look. Up we go. There. Now, let's see. Nothing over that way, and nothing to... Oh, Cecile, we're wasting our time here. Let's go down the other way.
But we just got here,
No, I was wrong. There's nothing to see from this place. Come on now.
First you rush up here.
Now, Cecile, we have to hurry.
Then you... Oh, Michel.
Eh? What is it?
There. By the side of the road. It's Mathilde.
Yes, little one.
She's dead.
I'm afraid so.
Oh, my poor papa. My poor papa.
I had tried hard to keep Cecile's hopes alive, Mr. Conway, but what could I tell her now? I led her home. She didn't resist because she was drained of all emotions and feeling. When we got to Pierre's little house, it was I who had to tell them that Mathilde had fallen victim to the rushing, insensitive traffic at the highway. It wasn't easy. What does one say to a family of 3, half of whose life has been destroyed? I did the only thing I could. I promised Cecile that I would find a new car for her, that somehow I would see to it that the Brunels would have another Mathilde. But how? I couldn't do it myself because I was as penniless as the last of the dukes who had sold the castle. I finally went to see the mayor of the little village. Now, Monsieur le Maire, there must be something we can do. Loss of that car means so much to the family. They don't have...
I know. You forget that I also am a farmer, monsieur, and not very much better off than Pierre Brunel.
Of course, I realize that.
We are not a large enough community to support a full-time mayor. My office is more an honor bestowed upon me by my fellow countrymen than a profession.
I understand, but it does give you a position of leadership, of authority. Mm-hmm. Couldn't you suggest, perhaps, that the members of the community each contribute a few francs to buy a new car for the Brunels? Since everybody understands the problem, they might be anxious to do it.
My dear sir, there is no doubt in my mind about the desire of all the people of the village to help. The question is of their ability.
Oh, but only...
You said a moment ago a few francs. That is a lot of money. This has been a very difficult year, a bad season, a bad crop, and a bad winter ahead. Each of us, like Brunel, has borrowed money on whatever we own.
What is Brunel going to do now?
I wish I knew. It's not only Brunel. His is the 3rd cow this year that's been killed on that devilish highway. I've warned all my constituents about it, but what good is a warning? What we need is a cattle guard at that crossing and some solid public fencing. But the village is in no position to pay for it. If I put in our little jail all those who owe back taxes, monsieur, there would be nobody left to farm.
I see. It's not a very hopeful picture.
I'm afraid not.
And nobody knows whose car will be next. Which Pierre or Antoine or Francois will have to figure out how he can get along without milk for his family.
I am only the mayor, not a financier. Believe me, I weep at night when I think of Brunel and little Cecile. But a mayor who weeps is a disgrace to the office. I curse that road. It has never brought us anything but hard luck.
Wait a moment. The road.
What about the road?
Mr. Mayor, the road has killed little Mathilde. The road shall pay for her.
You are joking.
Not a bit of it. Listen to me closely. Now, you all know what to do. Yes. When I give the signal, the first half of the mourners start across the road. The cart follows, and then the rest of you. Now, look. Can you fix the black drapes on the car so they show a little clearer?
Yes, indeed.
That's it. That's fine. And the plumes on the horse. That's very good.
Are you sure the cars will see us in time and not run into the procession? I don't want any of the people from the village hurt.
Oh, the road is very straight, Mr. Mayor, and the drivers can see a good mile ahead of them. I'll step out first to act as a bumper if one is needed.
But I don't want you to get hurt either. It would be a disgrace to the village.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, I have an infinite desire to stay alive. I promise you I won't allow myself to join Mathilde.
Oh, there's something coming from Lyon.
Oh, the glasses, quick. Yes. Oh, no. It's a little Ford in terrible condition. Let it go by. You know, these are very good glasses, monsieur.
I was a captain in the artillery a long time ago.
Oh, I see. Oh, look. What? Another one. Coming from Paris this time. A Rolls Royce. And a new one. All right, start the procession. Hey, driver, get the cart moving. I'll go out on the road now.
Good luck, monsieur, and be careful.
Oh, 1,000 pardons, monsieur, for stopping you. The procession will be across the road in a moment, and then you can proceed.
That's quite all right. Is it a funeral?
Yes, monsieur.
An important person in the village by the looks of it.
Oh, yes. Very important. A cow.
A cow?
That's right. The best cow in the whole province. And the entire resource of a hard-working and devoted family. Killed by some unthinking driver on this very road. Killed by someone rushing heedlessly to Paris or Marseille, no doubt for a vacation and a good time.
I see.
Somehow the people in the village are going to try to replace the cow for their neighbor. You see, they realize how important it is.
Of course. Monsieur.
Yes, monsieur.
May I would like to... Would the village accept a contribution of $5 toward the cost of the animal from one of the drivers on the road?
Oh, the village would be happy and honored, sir.
Good. Here you are.
Oh, thank you. And may you sleep as well tonight as the farmer you have rescued from despair. Hey, look now. A big Fiat from Rome. Start across now. Oh, scusatemi, signori, ma la processione sarà attraverso il cammino in un momentito. Verzeihung, meine Herrschaften, aber Please, one moment, monsieur. Please do forgive me, monsieur.
£6 sterling, 1,300 lira, 10 Dutch guilder, 16 American dollars.
Quiet. Please, everybody, you're disturbing the mayor.
1,000 francs, 10 Mexican pesos, and there is still more, monsieur.
Oh, yes, a whole pocket full. Do we have enough, Mr. Mayor?
Enough for 3 cows, an American cattle guard, a good strong fence, and... what is your given name, my friend?
Michel.
And enough for a statue to the king of the highwaymen, Michel the First. My friends, this land of ours is a hard taskmaster. Sometimes it is even cruel. But there are occasions like today when it brings us joy and happiness. Pierre Brunel.
Mr. Mayor?
I now present to you, in the name of the Paris-Marseilles Highway, this fine cow to replace the one so recently deceased.
Oh. My friend?
Oh, now, Pierre, that's enough of a speech. Don't you think so, Cecile?
Oh, yes. What do you think, Mathilde?
So you fulfilled your promise, Michel. You replaced Mathilde I with Mathilde II. And what was your reward?
My reward, Mr. Conway, was the kiss of a wonderfully happy 12-year-old girl. And?
Yes, and?
Once a year, I receive a big round cheese from Pierre Brunel, the product of Mathilde II.
And that is the cheese you brought with you today?
Correct. And its delicate flavor cannot be duplicated.
A lovely story, Michel. What about your job at the castle? Did that last very long?
No, I left shortly after because I had an opportunity to accompany a deep-sea diver on his search for a treasure ship of the Spanish Armada.
You did? Well, tell me about it.
I wish I could, Mr. Conway, but I forgot.
Don't tell me you don't remember it anymore.
Oh, no, Mr. Conway. I mean, I forgot that is another story. And, of course, another $200.
Charles Boyer will soon be seen starring in Douglas Sirk's production, The First Legion. The role of Bart Conway is played by Herbert Butterfield. Also in the cast were Gene Bates, Paul Frees, Ann Whitfield, Stanley Farrar, Eric Snowden, and Margot Powers. Our show is directed by Nat Wolff. Tonight's script was written by David V. Robeson. Characters of Michel and Bart Conway were created by Ernest Voidya and Clement Scott Gilbert. This program was transcribed. Don Stanley speaking.
Sidney Greenstreet is that fabulous sleuth, Nero Wolfe, tomorrow on NBC.
He was a rascal, but he had a heart, that Michel. Presenting Charles Boyer, 74 years ago, October 16, 1950, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Comedy for your Sunday with The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, the Jack Benny program, also The Life of Riley, starring William Bendix, Amos and Andy and Madam Queen, and Superman. That's all coming up on Sunday. On Monday, we'll have Fort Laramie, Gunsmoke, Crime Classics, Suspense and The Shelter, and Claudia. Tuesday, Jack Benny in an episode from 1944, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, another episode of Amos and Andy from 1952, the Jimmy Durante program, and then on Wednesday, it's here, the Mercury Theater of the Air and their War of the Worlds presentation, fully restored from 1938. Also from that same day in 1938, we'll have the show that competed against it, the Chase and Sanborn Hour with Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. That's coming up in the next few days here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now, The Shadow.
Instead of going down, the annual rate of polio cases in this country is going up. Instead of growing panicky with fear in the face of such an unwelcome fact, there is a way in which we all can join the Army which is fighting to check this trend and ultimately defeat infantile paralysis. We can contribute to the March of Dimes. Give today so that the 1952 March of Dimes will be the biggest ever and a really potent fighting force against polio.
We talk about the wiping out of other diseases. Polio was one that vaccination wiped out very well. And so happy that it did. All right, an episode of The Shadow. This is from 83 years ago, October 26, 1941. William Johnstone portrays Lamont Cranston in The Shadow in The Devil's Hour.
Shadow knows.
The thrilling adventures of the Shadow are on the air. Brought to you each week at this time by your neighborhood Blue Coal dealer. These dramatizations are designed to demonstrate forcibly to old and young alike that crime does not pay. The way to get in step with the times on home heating is to fill your bin with blue coal, that exceptionally fine home fuel. Yes, blue coal gives you comfortable, economical heat, and it's effort-saving on your part, too. Yes, it's easy as well as clean and healthy to heat your home the blue coal way. Order a supply of blue coal right now. The producers of blue coal foresee no shortage of this high-quality home fuel, but present unsettled conditions make it wise to be prepared. Don't put off ordering. Call your friendly neighborhood blue coal dealer tomorrow and get your winter's supply. The Shadow, mysterious character who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. Several years ago in the Orient, Cranston learned a strange and powerful secret. The secret of hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so that they cannot see him. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible shadow belongs. Today's drama, The Devil's Hour.
The ram's horn will summon Satan. Help me, Satan. Alone in the forest here, I have sounded the devil's horn. I call on you to blot out the life of my enemy, Edward Heller, before the hour of this midnight has struck, and to blot out the life of his sister Deborah before the hour of this midnight has passed.
Is that you, Bediah?
Yes, Miss Deborah. It's Bediah. Them farm people are having a fine time for their Halloween husking party.
Oh, we shouldn't have done it, Bediah. Mr. Edvard is in no condition to be lying in his bed upstairs, tossing and turning, while that infernal laughing and stomping goes on.
Yes'm. But they'll be leaving soon, ma'am. Now, Miss Deborah, I'm going down to the servants' quarter.
Well, there's nothing else for you to do. Bediah.
Miss Deborah.
That sounded like...
The devil's horn, Miss Deborah.
Where's it coming from?
Mr. Edvard's room.
Edvard! Oh, get up there quick, Bediah.
Yes'm, Miss Deborah. But there ain't much I can do. You heard that horn.
Yes, Bediah. I heard the devil's horn. Means Edvard is to die. But it isn't time yet. Midnight was the hour he always feared. Midnight. Edvard.
Miss Deborah! Miss Deborah!
Yes, Bediah?
Mr. Edvard!
Yes, Bediah?
Mr. Edvard is dead.
Of course he is.
What were them shots, Miss Deborah?
Who are you to ask?
My name is Jarkins, one of the farm folks, ma'am. What is...
Mr. Jarkins. My brother Edvard is dead.
Edward dead?
Dead? Who, Edward Heller? Dead?
Murdered, you mean? Quiet, friends. Miss Deborah, who would kill such a man as your brother?
I don't know that, Mr. Jarkins. But this I do know. Just before my brother was killed, we heard the devil's horn from up there in his room.
So, the devil's horn.
Yeah,
the devil's been here.
Old Pratsman done it.
Old Pratsman the witch. He talks to the devil.
Quiet, friends. Miss Deborah, did old Protzman maybe have a grudge against your brother? Did he, ma'am?
My brother knew Mr. Protzman. Only yesterday it was I heard them quarreling.
Go on.
And I heard Protzman saying as clear as though he were in this room right now. He said,
I may be helpless, Edward Heller, but I can call on Satan to bring death and destruction on the house of my enemies.
That's just what he said, Mr. Jarkins. Now, what are you going to do?
Bury the witch with his victim, Miss Deborah. We're going to dig a nice, deep grave for old Protzman. There'll be 2 bodies together in that grave tonight.
You know, Margot, we haven't yet passed a witch on a broom. Strange, isn't it?
Unheard of, Lamont, considering it's soon to be Halloween. Can you remember what an exciting thing Halloween was when you were a kid?
Oh, that doesn't require too good a memory, Margot. Incidentally, I didn't want to frighten you, but I'm afraid we've lost our road.
Well, I'm really too sleepy to care, partner in crime.
Well, then, why don't we just pick out a little inn along the road and stay there until morning?
This countryside is perfect for Halloween. So why don't you just wave your wand, stop your car, and there you are. Well, you stopped your car, but where are you?
You're in.
I am. Oh, where?
Well, doesn't that sign say in?
Oh, yes, I see. Nailed up on the tree there. P-R-O...
I think the name is Protzman.
Yes, Protzman. Well, Mr. Protzman's inn's a little dilapidated. But then so am I.
Hurry then, my lady, before you both fall apart.
And I'm just in the mood to do that.
Well, doesn't seem to be a creature stirring, but we'll take a chance.
Serve us right if an old witch took us in and baked us both into gingerbread boys.
A boy for me and girl for you, darling. You see, Oh, good evening.
You've come to tell me he's dead, haven't you?
What? What did you say?
You've come to tell me. Oh, I thought you were someone else.
Someone else?
My name is Protzman. This is my house. What can I do for you?
We'd like 2 rooms for the night, if you have them.
Step inside. I'll try to. What was that?
What?
That you hear?
Oh, some people on the road. After all, it's Halloween.
Look, Lamont, coming over the hill. It's a mob.
It's me they want. They're after me.
Protzman, where are you?
What will I do? What will I do?
Well, as a first precaution, I suggest you're ducking inside and locking the door, Mr. Protzman.
That wouldn't stop them. They'd burn the house down.
Then I'm afraid we're in for a first class...
This time they're going to kill me.
Quiet.
They'll kill me.
Listen to me, you men.
I'd keep out of this if I was you, stranger. Protzman, you're the one we want to talk to.
What do you want with me, Mr. Jarkin?
Funny you're asking that, you with your dirty witchcraft and spellcasting.
Where are you taking me?
We're taking you back to the Heller Mansion, Protzman. And we are going to bury you with Heller in a nice deep grave.
No,
grab him, men. No, you don't. Not this way, Protzman. You ain't leaving us alive.
Don't hurt me. I can
do it. Fast, John. That grave is just going to pitch you.
Did you hear what I heard, Margot?
I'm afraid I did, Lamont.
A witch, a murder, and a grave already dug? What were you saying about Halloween being exciting when we were kids, Margot?
Quiet.
What we want to do.
Let Protzman talk.
Please. Please, let me go. You're wrong about me, I tell you.
Are we? Here's your witch, Miss Deborah. Got anything to say to him?
I have. That's my brother's body on the bed there, Mr. Protzman. Not a pretty sight, is he? With those 3 bullets in his heart.
Don't make me look at the dead one.
You'll look at it all right. It was the last night.
Please.
Listen. Hear that? Someone coming up the stairs. Expect anybody, Miss Deborah?
No one.
Well, here we are, Margot. No trouble at all. Oh, quite a turnout we have here.
Good evening, everyone.
Well, I don't want to play, Margot. Now, my dear, we are at what is usually referred to as the scene of the crime. We must observe everything very carefully. For instance, the broken vase we see lying on this hearthstone may be connected with this fresh bullet hole in the mantelpiece here.
Amazing, my dear Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Margot. Now, I wonder if these good people here have noticed that the dead man didn't so much as stir in his sleep while being killed.
Listen here, stranger. I don't know who you are.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm Lamont Cranston, and this is Miss Lane. We thought we'd help track down the criminal who killed Edward Heller.
The devil himself killed Edward Heller.
Really? The devil must be having a rather tough season of it.
What do you mean, miss?
That empty watch case on the mantelpiece. Did the devil by any chance steal the contents of that, Mr. Jorkins?
Edward's watch case.
She's right. It's empty. His watch is gone.
Ah, nice work, Margot. Was it a very valuable watch, madam?
It was an heirloom. One of those old-fashioned watches that chimed a little tune on the hour.
Oh, yes, I know the kind. Very popular in my grandfather's day. Still rather popular with His Satanic Majesty by the looks of things.
What kind of nonsense is this? The devil has no need for the things of men.
No? Well then, Mr. Jorkins, why did your devil use the revolver by this bed to murder Mr. Heller?
It's Edward's own gun. He always kept it in his room.
May I see it, please?
Yes.
Miss Deborah, don't give it to him.
Thank you, Miss Deborah.
I'll
Back, Mr. Jorkins, you and your mob. Now then.
All right, it's all right, men. He won't get away with this.
And you better get old Protzman out of here, Lamont.
Right, Margot. You.
Me, sir? Bediah, sir? I'm only a servant in the house, sir.
Get Mr. Protzman out of this room quickly. Hold him downstairs until the police come.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, young man. We'll get you for this, Protzman, and you too, Cranston.
Get him out, Bediah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'm sorry to interfere with your fun this evening, gentlemen. But no one is to touch that old man until the police arrive. Is that clear?
Who says so?
I do, Mr. Jorkins. Not to mention the revolver. And now we're going to proceed with a sensible investigation of this.
What was that?
Killed Bediah. He's gone. Protzman's got away.
Bediah!
He's a witch for sure he is. How did he get away? I turned my back for 1 second, and he vanished.
Oh, I can't stand this. I'm going
falling. Lamont, help him.
Here, Miss Deborah. Take my arm. Hold the gun, Margot, while I...
I'll take that gun, Mr. Cranston.
Here, Vice.
There. Now, sir, you listen to me. You let Protzman escape.
Miss Deborah,
I want no explanations. He killed my brother. He threatened my own life, and now... Mr. Jorkins.
Yes, Miss Deborah.
You and the rest will take Miss Lane below and hold her until Mr. Cranston brings the murderer to me. If you fail to do that by 1 o'clock, Mr. Cranston, I will take the law into my own hands. You and Miss Lane have 30 minutes to live.
In a moment, we'll bring you the second act of The Devil's Hour. Recent weather predictions describe an especially severe winter in store for us. Be prepared to meet it with a plentiful supply of blue coal. This exceptionally fine home fuel will give you comfortable, even warmth, no matter how cold the winds outside the house may blow. And remember this, that it's especially easy to heat your home with blue coal. Blue coal is delivered to your home in exactly the proper size for your heating plant. It's carefully prepared to give you safe, efficient, and economical heat. And you'll enjoy added ease when your furnace is equipped with our new automatic blue coal heat regulator. What a truly wonderful improvement this is. It's as easy to operate as your electric toaster. It automatically opens and closes the dampers on your furnace and keeps every room at an even temperature at all times. Call your reliable neighborhood Blue Coal dealer right away and ask for a free demonstration of the Blue Coal Deluxe Heat Regulator in your own home with no obligation whatever. Your neighborhood dealer is listed under the words Blue Coal in the yellow section of your classified phone directory. Blue Coal, you know, is color-marked for your protection with a harmless blue tint. Get in touch with your Blue Coal dealer tomorrow. And now, back to the shadow.
Jarkins and his men are holding Miss Lane outside. And your time is passing, Mr. Cranston.
I hope to give you a definite clue soon, Miss Deborah. Now, let's see. This was Edward's library. An art collection. Egyptology, metaphysics. Look at this.
Who's that?
Witchcraft. A volume on witchcraft. And what's this in the pages?
It's a letter, Mr. Cranston.
So I see.
It seems to begin at the middle. There must be another page somewhere about.
What does it say?
You were taken away, my own. I will leave no stone unturned to bring misery and death on him who stole you from me. Signed, Edward.
Strange. I don't look, here it is. The first page.
To whom is it addressed, Mr. Cranston?
To beloved Elsa. Dated the 25th. Why, that's yesterday.
Elsa! Oh, no.
Miss Deborah.
Oh.
Are you ill?
Don't worry about me. There's no time to waste. You must go to Bodiah at once, Mr. Cranston.
Bodiah?
He will know the truth. Ask him why my brother went to see Dr. Fennings last night.
Dr. Fennings?
If only you can make him talk.
There are ways to do that, Miss Deborah.
Miss Deborah.
Oh,
Miss Deborah.
I'll have to go out this window. You can tell Mr. Jarkins I'll be back soon.
Miss Deborah, you hear me in there? Where is he? First Protsman disappears, and now...
Mr. Jarkins, there's been a mistake.
You'll find out what a mistake there's been if you're Protsman's next victim. Where's Cranston? Why did you let him go?
I had to, Mr. Jarkins. There was a
Miss Deborah, I believe you're in league with your brother's murderers, with Cranston and Protsman.
No, Mr. Jarkins.
You are. And now, if it's the last thing on earth I do, I'm going to...
No, Mr. Jarkins! Mr...
She's dead. Bodiah, Cranston has escaped, but my men are still holding Miss Lane. She has only a short while to live. Meanwhile, I don't want you to tell anybody I talked to you.
I won't tell, Mr. Jarkins.
Good. From here on, I'm going to shoot on sight.
Make sure your aim is good, Jarkins. Very good. Who was that?
I am the Shadow.
But I can't see you.
No. I've cast a hypnotic spell over your mind, Bodiah.
What do you want with me?
Why did Edward Heller visit Dr. Fennings last night?
You know that?
The Shadow knows. Why, Bodiah?
Because Mr. Edward's heart was bad. Dr. Fennings said he couldn't live out the month.
I see. Why did you keep that visit a secret?
Because I was scared of Mr. Edward. Death always seemed to be close to him. And that horn we heard...
Very interesting. One thing more. Your master, Edward Heller, wrote a letter to Elsa. Who is Elsa?
Elsa? Why, that was Mr. Protsman's wife.
Mr. Protsman's wife?
She's been dead these 10 long years, she has.
I see. I'm leaving you now, Bodiah. But remember, I'm always near. The Shadow will be watching you.
What are we waiting for, Jarkins?
It's almost one. Why don't we kill Cranston's friend, Miss Lane, here?
We've still got 5 minutes left. Miss Deborah
Miss
promised...
Deborah's dead. I'm in charge now. Men?
Yeah, what is it?
That grave Edward Heller's lying in is waiting for a companion. If we can't get Cranston, we've got Miss Lane.
But Lamont won't go back on his word. He'll be here any minute.
Any minute won't do, Miss Lane. He should be here now.
But I am here, gentlemen.
Oh, Lamont.
Put down that gun, Jarkins. My time's not up yet. I promised to deliver the murderer before 1 o'clock, and I will.
All right, but you'd better do some fast talking, Cranston.
Gladly. Now listen to me. First, that broken vase was shattered by the bullet that made this small hole here in this mantelpiece.
What's your point, Cranston?
Just this. We know there were 3 shots heard when Edward Heller was killed. It's unlikely that the murderer would have missed after getting his range. Therefore, the shot that missed and broke this vase must have been the first shot fired. Right, Mr. Jarkins?
Well, yes. Yes, I guess so. Oh, what's that got to do with it?
Just this. If you'd been in bed asleep and someone had fired a gun in your ear and knocked a vase to the floor, what would you have done?
Frankly, I would have jumped up and tried
Of course you would have, Margot. But Edward Heller didn't. See how smooth his bedclothes are? Heller didn't move because he knew he was going to be murdered. Murdered as part of his own plan.
Just a minute, Cranston. This bullet hole of yours in the mantelpiece hasn't left a trace of lead.
No? Well, let's see that, Jarkins. Oh. It's just possible that this mantelpiece isn't exactly what it appears to be. I'd say... Aha! Quite an interesting little device, eh, Mr. Jarkins?
That's right. The mantelpiece opened.
Yeah, what do you suppose is inside there?
I'm not sure, but I've got a good idea.
I wouldn't go in there, Cranston.
I'll take that chance. Stay here with your men, Jarkins. Come on, Margot.
All right. Careful, Lamont.
I'll be careful. It's only a question...
Lamont, isn't that a figure huddled there in the corner?
It is, Margot. It's Protzman. Protzman! Protzman, are you all right?
Here, let me help.
Please don't hurt.
He's almost delirious.
Leave him alone, Cranston. I'll tend to him. Come along, Protzman.
Oh, no, you don't, Jarkins.
This gun says I do.
Please don't.
Come on, come on.
Please.
Come on.
Well, Lamont, this is a fine pickle. Haven't you found out who killed Edward Heller yet?
Almost, Margot. There's only one piece missing from the puzzle, and that's the little stolen watch that plays a tune on the hour.
Do you think you'll find it before they kill Protzman?
Perhaps the shadow can find it, Margot.
Please don't hurt me, Mr. Jarkins. Please let me live.
Shut up, Protzman.
I must...
Who's there?
It's Bediah, Mr. Jarkins.
Well, why don't you come in, Bediah? We're killing a witch in here.
Oh, no. No.
You're killing him, Mr. Jarkins?
We're killing him, Bediah.
Not yet, Jarkins, not yet.
Hey, what's that?
Who was talking?
It was I, Mr. Jarkins. The shadow.
But I can't see you. You're just a voice.
You cannot see me, but I'm here in this room. As is our murderer, Mr. Jarkins.
Who is the murderer?
You have but a moment to wait. The devil's hour is over.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Yeah, where is our murderer?
Right there, gentlemen.
It's Edward Heller's watch.
Mr. Jarkins?
Yes, voice.
Why don't you ask Bediah the time?
Why ask me the time?
Reach in your pocket, Bediah, and take out Edward Heller's watch.
All right. What if I have Mr. Edward's watch, Shadow?
Just this. You killed Edward. Then you kidnapped Protzman to make us believe the devil had a hand in this night's crime.
Yeah, and why did I do that, Shadow?
For a sum of money.
You mean my master paid me to kill him?
That's exactly what I mean. You were the only person who knew Edward was going to die within the month. And Edward wanted someone to kill him tonight.
And why would he want that, Shadow?
Revenge. He never forgave Protzman for marrying Elsa, the woman he loved. And because of this, he paid you to kill him, so that he could use his death to frame Protzman.
How do you know all this?
And Edward almost succeeded. He was only defeated by your stupidity. You couldn't resist stealing your master's watch.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I'm going to do plenty.
Look out, Jarkins.
He's got my gun.
Yes, and I'm going to use it.
No, you're not, Bediah. Give me that gun.
No, Shadow. Your job is done. You found your murderer, but I'm robbing you of the privilege of taking him alive. And this time, the first shot won't miss its mark.
Goodbye, Mr. Cranston. Miss Lane, I have to thank you for giving my life back to me.
And I have to thank you for humoring an old fool.
Glad we happened along, Mr. Jarkins. Oh, by the way, Mr. Protzman, I'd give up experimenting with witchcraft if I were you.
Oh, believe me, I will, sir. I will. Believe me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Protzman.
Mr. Cranston.
All right, Margot?
Yes, I think so. Only, you know, there's one thing I don't understand.
Oh? What's that?
Well, as Mr. Protzman told us, he asked the devil to kill Edvard Heller before midnight, and his sister before 1.
Miss Deborah's death, Margot, was due to apoplexy, brought on by the realization of what Edward had done.
But still, it all turned out exactly the way Protzman asked the devil to arrange it. You see what I mean, Lamont?
Margot, one really mustn't ask too many questions on Halloween's Eve in a strange countryside.
In a moment, we'll bring you an episode from real life proving that crime does not pay. First, however, I know you'll be interested in hearing from Blue Coal's distinguished home heating expert, John Barclay. Mr. Barclay.
Thank you. Many people already have started their furnace fires. In the changeable weather we're having, it's nice to have warmth in the chilly mornings and evenings. But it's certainly no fun to have to get up on a cold morning and go down to rebuild a fire that's gone out during the night. You won't have to do this, you know, if your furnace is equipped with the proper dampers and if you have a modern thermostat. Any Blue Coal dealer will be glad to send an expert John Barclay-trained serviceman to your home to show you how easily you can regulate your furnace to give you heat just when you want it. Heat during the cool mornings and evenings, and fires banked during the day and night. Let this expert serviceman help you at no obligation whatever. Simply call your friendly neighborhood Blue Coal dealer, and you'll soon settle down at ease, free of heating worries. He's listed in the yellow section of your classified telephone directory under the words Blue Coal. See how much easier and more efficient it is to heat your home the Blue Coal way. Thank you.
Today's program is based on a copyrighted story. The characters, names, places, and plot are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Direct from real life, we now bring you conclusive proof that crime does not pay. New York City, New York. Irving Levitt, 38 years old, spots a well-to-do victim for robbery. He quickly approaches.
You got $145 in that handbag.
No.
Give me that.
Run as hard as you can, Irving Levitt. You won't get to spend that money. It profits you nothing. Last week in Kings County Court, Irving Levitt heard the price of his attempted grand larceny. 4 to 5 years in Sing Sing prison. The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The shadow knows.
Next week, same time, same station, your friendly Blue Coal dealer brings you another strange and thrilling adventure in the Shadow's daring battle against the forces of evil. Be sure to listen, and be sure to phone your neighborhood Blue Coal dealer for greater heating comfort at less cost. Remember, keep the home fires burning with Blue Coal.
October 26, 1941, The Shadow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Yes, Halloween is coming up. And coming up on, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, the Mercury Theater on the Air's infamous Halloween presentation of War of the Worlds. But right now, we present something nowhere near as scary, Claudia.
Your contribution of $10 or $6.95 for the budget relief package will send more relief overseas than the same money spent any other way. To help people in foreign countries with food or clothing, send your check to Non-Profit Care, New York. That's Care, New York. Send your check, your name and address, and full particulars about who's to get the package. Care will do the rest.
We wrap up our Saturday show with an episode of Claudia, and this episode goes back to, October 26, 1948, 76 years ago today.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Mr. Warren! Mr. Warren!
It's funny, his wife said he was out here in the barn.
Mr. Warren!
Is that you, Norton? I'll be right with you. I'm out in the milk room.
Right.
Warm and friendly in a cow barn on a nippy morning. My ears are still tingly. David, did you ever see so many cows?
Yes.
You have got a green light of envy in your eyes. Look, we're only going to have one cow. Do you hear?
Well, you young folks is here bright and early.
Yes, thank you for telephoning us this morning about your decision to let us have one of your cows, Mr. Warren.
Jared and I talked it over after you left yesterday. Maybe he's right. Trouble with me and cows is I don't like to sell the good ones, and I raise only good ones. Gets to be sort of a case of too much of a good thing.
Even with good things, there can be too much?
But the cow I sell you won't be too much like selling a cow. She'll be right on the next farm.
Here! Where be everybody?
We're here in the cow barn, Mr. Tucker.
Hey, you ain't bought nothing yet. You ain't said yes on the cow yet,
Nope, we just got here.
It's good. Why don't you two young'uns wait for me? Had hightailed over here like two frisky calves let out to a new pasture. You ain't cut your eye teeth, neither of you. When it comes to cows, without the advice and guidance of an expert, you'll get your hide scun off.
I suppose, Jared, you think you're whispering, you horse old bullfrog. If there's anybody in Eastbrook, you gotta watch out for a sharp trade. It be you, not me.
Speak of the devil and he'll hear you. Matthew, if what I said applies to you, take it to heart and mend your ways. If it don't, then don't feel your toes got stepped on. It's funny how tender a man's toes can get.
Speaking of tender toes, ain't you kind of forgetting that sow you sold me that was barren and never had no pigs?
Ain't you forgetting that I didn't want to sell her? You most busted your britches you had to buy her so.
You didn't say she was barren.
You didn't ask.
What would I be wanting with a barren sow?
How should I know? World's full of darn fools. Maybe you wanted to keep her for a pet? Anyway, I didn't charge you more'n she was worth for meat. Much. If you hadn't been so eager to skin me, the price I was asking would have been less.
Look, Mr. Warren, Mr. Tucker. Claudia and I want to buy a cow, but we don't want to be the occasion for two neighbors to have ill feelings.
Two neighbors between whom we live.
Who's quarreling? We ain't quarreling.
Now, Jared talks a lot, but he don't mean nothing by it.
Oh, I don't, hey? Well, let me tell you one thing, Matthew
Mr. Warren, just what cow did you have in mind selling to us?
No, probably some old moth-eaten bag of bones with the heaves and staggers and blind on...
Well, I was going to let you pick your choice out of the four animals this end of the line.
Oh, called out your poor ones, did you?
But after Jared's remarks, I sort of think I'll let you pick any animal in the herd that strikes your fancy. Of course, we'll have to negotiate the price.
I thought there was some hitch and kink into it.
We might pick out your best cow.
Then, Miss Norton, you'll be buying a very good cow.
I'm sure we would.
There, why don't you just look up and down the line by yourselves? I got some feed to throw down to the calves, and when I come back, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Trapped the old fox that time. Sometimes you use honey to sweeten them up, sometimes vinegar to rile them. Prefer vinegar myself. God danged if we ain't going to buy the best cow in the county.
But it doesn't seem fair to Mr. Warren, Mr. Tucker.
Fair. Matt Warren will never starve for anything you do to him. Come on. Time's a-wasting.
What do you think of this one here?
Oh, I think she's nice.
Babes in the woods, you be. Babes in the woods, splayed in the foot, thin in the shoulder, droopy in the eye, long in the couple, slabbed into the ribs, udder poor attached. She's 7 years old and her tail's short. Wouldn't look twice at this cow.
Well, that's a pretty overall and complete diagnosis, Mr. Tucker.
Oh, I can diagnose you a cow all right. You got yourselves an expert.
I didn't know there could be that much wrong with a cow.
And still be alive.
Oh, as cows go, she ain't bad, but she's a long, long way from the best. Now, before Matt Warren comes back, we got to apply some of this here thing called psychology.
On a cow?
This is something I would like to see.
No, not on a cow. On Matt Warren.
Oh.
We got to put ourselves in Warren's place and see what he would do. What would you do if you were selling cows?
Well, I don't know. I've never sold cows.
Where would you look for his best cow, son?
I don't think I follow you.
Oh, just like I says, you two are babes in the woods. Babes in the woods. Warren will have his best cows tucked away off in the far end of the barn in the dark, where you'd pass him by without a notice. Come along now.
That's a pretty fundamental lesson in psychology.
You men make things so involved. Women are more direct.
Oh, look, just like I says. Look at this here light brindle there in the corner. Ah, there's a cow.
Yeah, that's a real cow.
To me, all cows are gray in the dark.
A little garbled, but an apt quotation. However, believe me, darling, this is quite a lot of cow.
What's that you say? What's that? Speak up, you young'uns. If you don't like that cow, you don't know nothing about cows.
Oh, I like her. But not knowing much about cows, I don't know why I'm supposed to like her.
Well, just look at her bill.
Neat and compact, right womanly she is, right womanly.
And her conformation.
That's a big word. Cover a lot of sins and failings, son. Take a cow point by point, and then add 'em up.
Well, let's see. Got a long tail. That's supposed to be good?
You tell her, son. Tell her.
Well, in the summertime, Claudia, when the flies are bad, a cow with a short tail can switch them off as well as...
Mr. Norton, I see you're eyeing a good cow.
Here's this here one here's your Belinda cow.
If you didn't know, Jared, you wouldn't be asking.
She's fair cow.
She's a fine cow.
Fair. A little underfleshed, ain't she?
Makes milk with her feed, not beef.
Still a mite more weight for her age. She's got some age into her.
Coming 5.
Only 5, you say? Looks to deceive you times.
You said you had some calves, Mr. Warren. I wonder if I can see them.
Yeah, they're out in the yard there, right behind the door, Mrs. Norton.
I'll just look at them, darling, while you and Mr. Warren talk cows.
Oh, that's a woman for you. They're suckers for small things. Calves and little piglets and little baby chicks. All them little things, they sort of gravitate to 'em. Say, you wouldn't have been hiding this Belinda cow, would you, Matt?
Not hiding exactly.
Not hiding. Standing here in the dark, we might have passed her by.
Well, you might have liked something better.
Sooner, you mean, not better. This here's a cow, Mr. Norton, you might fasten your eye to. She'll milk you close to 30 pounds a day.
She'll better 40 when she's fresh.
She'll milk you 7,000 or 8,000 pounds in a year.
10,420 last year.
That's quite a cow.
Probably average better than 4% butter fat. Good Jersey's a butter factory.
5.3% last lactation.
And she's no more than, I should say, 6-year-old.
Coming 5 on the 21st of January.
Matthew, you didn't tell a single lie. Mr. Norton, I tried to trip him, but he give you the whole truth. Stories printed with a record in last month's herd book.
Mr. Warren, if you'd be willing to sell this
When I
cow...
got mad at Jared, I made an agreement with you. You could buy any cow I got. Now, don't back away from a word once I give it.
Give the devil his due. I got that to say for Matthew here.
Well, nevertheless, Mr. Warren, I wouldn't like you to feel bound by what you said. If you'd like to leave out this cow,
Well, when you got an advantage, keep a hold on to it.
Mr. Norton, I thank you for saying what you did. It was right neighborly. And don't believe Jared is as mean and as cantankerous as he makes out to be. He and
I'll be just as mean and cantankerous as I want to be. And don't you try to honey me up. Go on, sell your cow. Buy your cow. See if I care. Mean and cantankerous.
Thou hast said it, Jared.
David, have you bought the cow yet? Oh, you haven't bought it.
What are you bellering about, girl? Changed your mind? Women, and they're changing minds.
You haven't bought it yet.
Well, I guess you could say I've never been quite so close to buying one.
Well, then don't.
Why?
I've just seen the cow I want to buy. If Mr. Warren will sell her.
Don't know from nothing about cows, and all be herself, she's found the cow she's got to have.
Yes,
Babes
I
in
have.
the woods. Probably seen a bull calf and hitched her fancy onto it.
Please come and look at it, Dave, and you won't want to look at any other cow.
All right, darling.
This is the craziest cow trading I ever been mixed up into.
Look, there she is. Come, girl. Come on, girl. Isn't she beautiful?
Well, I'll be gall danged.
Yeah.
Just simply gall danged.
Yeah.
Babes in the woods and a guiding angel lead you. Miss Norton, I know you don't know nothing about cows, but will you kindly tell me how, knowing nothing about cows, you come to pick this one?
Well, I know it sounds sort of silly, but David, you won't laugh at me.
No, darling, I won't laugh at you.
Well, she has such nice eyes and such a sweet expression on her face, and she's so pretty looking and graceful when she walks, and she follows me, and she seems to like me. Don't you, girl? See?
Well, I'll be gall danged.
Well, she looks like a good cow.
I thought you sold her, Matthew.
Nah, I dickered around some, but finally backed away from the trade. Sort of didn't like to sell her. I guess I've sold her now.
Tell the Nortons about her, Matthew.
She's the queen.
The queen. She's that which there ain't no better than. She's the Nunparelli, Longmeadow Majesty's Smoky Smilax. She won a hat full of silver medals and enough gold medals to make a necklace out of. Say it again, Miss Norton.
Say what?
What you said about this here cow.
That she had nice eyes and a sweet expression?
Nice eyes and a sweet expression. And she picks the gall dangdest cow in the country.
Miss Norton, you couldn't have said no finer thing about the queen.
Well, sir, Mr. Norton, I hope you've learned your lesson. I have.
What lesson, Mr. Tucker?
When you and I go out buying cows, we take Mrs. Norton with us. All she has to do is look in their eyes. I'll be gall danged.
One of the pleasures of having a home is being able to ask folks in for an evening's visit. But that pleasure escapes women who think they have to go to no end of trouble preparing refreshments. Next time you invite people over, make things easy for yourself. Serve ice-cold Coca-Cola. Your guest will enjoy the pause that refreshes, and so will you. Order a case of Coke, and your hospitality preparations are made.
Oh, dang, did you ever hear us tell us such a thing?
No, I never did, Mr. Tucker.
Pretty looking in eyes, walks graceful, and by Jiminy Cricket, she picks the best cow in the herd. Well, son, you and I know you tell a good cow by its...
But Mrs. Norton only has to look in their eyes.
Well, that she did. Little lady has a great flair for cow flesh, a great flair, but...
Well, what's the but?
But there's many a slip twixt a cup and a lip, or as you might say, between picking out a fine cow and agreeing to the price of her. When we get to that point tomorrow, then the real trading begins.
Well, you couldn't keep me away, Mr. Tucker. When you and Matthew Warren really go to trading, I'll bet you that's something, and I'll be there. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
76 years ago, October 26, 1948, Claudia, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, comedy with Ozzie and Harriet, Jack Benny, The Life of Riley, Amos and Andy, and Superman. Thanks for being with us on this Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.